Hello CKL, we are live with another primetime match coming at you from Mario Kart World this season. My name is Airhockey, I'm joined by LeBob. LeBob, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's wonderful weather outside where I'm at, but who cares? We're here to watch some fantastic Mario Kart World. Our first prime time for the season since week 1 for Division 1, where we had that very entertaining in-person match between Florida International and the Florida Gators.
Yeah, we had a tie back then. That is not happening today because we're here with the best of three for the second spot in D2 semifinals of Texas Taco Trucks, a merger of UTSA, San Antonio, and the CSU. Oh, jeez. Okay. Texas Taco Trucks, a merger between Texas A&M University and University of Tennessee, San Antonio, against CSULB Gold. Texas Taco Trucks is a lot of teams that are a lot newer to CKL. Especially TAMU, I think they first got their start pretty recently, and especially getting Choco on their team, who's been at TAMU for a while, but they finally found him. Obviously, I think the highlight for Texas, he's outscoring all of D2 and Indivs by a mile, if we look at our lineups here. I think the story about today, and to some extent what it was when they first faced, was basically Choco versus Raspada and the Horde. The results there in D2, you can go find it. It's a very close match, and it is Choco scoring nearly 160 points, with the rest of the team all scoring pretty respectively as well, but not quite enough to outscore Long Beach's team. It's a little bit more balanced. Yeah, no, because these high scores from Choco have just been the baseline. That's what they're going to need to win here, especially after last time they played, they only lost by 12. If Choco can hold down the line and Texas just scores a little bit better everywhere else, they're pretty much set. Yeah, no, that little bit of strategy and gamesmanship you're able to play there for Deluxe, I can sometimes help you get at least tracks we're going to see 3 times today, maybe. Some we might never see at all. But the only way to do that is to get started, and I think these players are probably about ready to go. I think one of the closest results in all of D2. Well, you're fucking on Hive Man, I believe. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. But yeah, I mean, my team, we've played Long Beach twice now. We've played Texas once. Choco is also a teammate of mine outside of CKL, so I'm very familiar with both these teams' track stays. And I think this is a really fun matchup to see now, because 2 tracks that I think Long Beach has picked every time we've played them have been both Dry Bones Burnout and Dandelion Depths, which both tracks those guys love, and also a track that Choco, I know, really likes, because we pick those tracks a lot. So I think that's interesting there too, because kind of there's almost maybe a little bit of a truce there where neither team really wants to go there because they just know that it's good for the other team, and you maybe just decide like, oh, I'll just go somewhere else entirely. And I'm proven wrong immediately on that, huh? Yeah, no, I think that Sky. If you're in 1-0, this is the 1-0 track. Sometimes you kind of just pick the track for 1-0. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, these two are fighting right now. Choco's getting the draft off, and I think still getting a second place box too beforehand. Really good position for Texas to be in. Yeah, I think Choco might have gotten hit there, but I think he's still in 1. Respato, he's probably going to be able to close the gap with this horn off. Max coins on base, you're faster. Going around, I don't like this. It does look like it's a lot of Texas in the middle there with Choco in first. You've got an opportunity to take a shot with a bomb here. The uphill there is hitting you. I think you just have to kind of settle, let Choco get 1 here, just fill in everything you can behind. Because 1 does go out here, but it's not enough. The triple reds though. It's not the rat. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty even race to start this off. Wow, that does it, yeah. This is good for Texas. Choco's in 1. This is exactly what he wants and needs. I think he was bumped. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, if you have spotted flip in 1 here, missing the rail though. That might be all it takes for Choco to get back up there. You take the backup stretch, but I do already see some red in the front. I think especially the other thing that I think is really good for Texas to be doing here right now that I think is a pretty good philosophy for teams like this, where you have one player who's just able to just outscore like crazy sometimes. I actually think being in second or third is probably the play for Choker, where he can just kind of run interference and keep that top 2 for his team. Because you can still first place will not necessarily guarantee a good race, but a top 2, the absolute worst race you could have with a top 2 is like a -10. And that's, yeah. This is, yeah, that's one. Even if without, you've got triple greens, you just fully command the rails. Choco had momentum there though. The spot is gonna go from Choco to the doubles. Choco got the doubles, and I think it was yep second. All of a sudden it's the top 2 flex, and it's bomb too, maybe more. You just take the 3 there, but that is a top 2 for Texas, and I'm assuming it's not bottom 4 behind. It's gonna be something good. That's pretty good, yeah. It's gonna be probably about a 10, give or take. Somewhere in that range, 10 to 20. Yeah, plus 12. What you need. It does seem like Lvov has been invisible to everyone except me this whole time. So I've been having the conversation with no one up till this point, so Lvov's here too, he's also casting. Getting into Dandelion, I think the early game of Dandelion is mostly about setting yourself up for the next 2 laps of the race. I would honestly go so far as to say what you really do the first 2 sets doesn't matter. It's mostly your position and your items going into the turn here. I don't see anyone with triple shrooms, although I do see 3 shrooms from this Biddy in third. That's probably where I'd put them in first. That is someone from Long Beach. Choker's up here in 4, I don't know what he has, but I'm guessing it's probably triple shrooms behind something. I don't think he'd be running up this early with nothing. Pretty high value fire there as well. The spot isn't fight here, you got the You're asking a lot. Chance of getting hit there. You kind of got it back up. It's definitely not team. Especially at the mega in front. Bottom 3 with that 10th place pull being a lot less likely. I pulled my first 10th place chalk today. And I think it's been like this for a couple weeks now. A little bit of a rough spot for a spotter. They're only going to get a single chain here. It's pretty unlikely Shock's going to play because of that. And yeah, Shock will stand line people in the front of the winners. And right now that does look like someone from Long Beach in 1, but it is Texas in like 2, 3, 4, 5 all behind. I think just about everything after first is Texas. They're getting all the power out of them, so it's just a matter of if it's enough to catch up.
Oh, this is interesting. Late Shock.
Texas has Shock though. We're holding it. There we go. This golden does a lot though. All of a sudden now, those okay spots turn into like a bottom 3, bottom 4 for Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach got bot 2 off the Shock, which wasn't that bad of a use for them.
1, 4, 5, 6 makes it positive, yeah. That Shock had to get used sooner by Texas, it sounds like. You just kind of...
Only +2 though.
You gotta buy a couple of group tops. You mitigate the damage a lot there, but that could have been a much bigger race. Also, for a bit of a surprise, the real casters here, Dynamo, teammate of mine for this season, coming in to replace me for the rest of this cast. I was never here at all! Whoa!
You're an illusion the entire time.
Only the
Alright,
most
I'll be
serious of
tagging in.
prime times here at the
Yeah,
Collegiate Karting League.
of course. They said we need a Georgian player, and we just happen to have a couple of them. So I am happy to be in here. We still have a very close match after 3 races, a difference of 10 in favor of Texas Taco Trucks. How has it been for you so far, Levon?
Other than the fact I forgot to add my mic to the gameplay scenes, it's been going pretty well. This game has been... It's been close. Texas going to get their track pick here. I believe each team is at 2 apiece for tracks, unless Texas is leading 1-3. I think Texas is leading 1-3. Toad's Factory, bit of an ultimate reset. You can't really expect much on this track except the unexpected.
Yes, absolutely. I am extremely happy to be on this cast because these 2 teams have fairly different constructions. You see that Choco, I believe, has already broken 50 points or over 40 points after 3 races. So they're going to be that person that CSULB is going to try and attack just to negate this lead just a little bit more. Currently, it looks like, I guess, fairly mixed tops, but a CSULB player is currently in the front.
Actually have top 2 as Raspada holding Feather very high up. Not as useful on Toad's Factory. I mean, I guess it's easier, you can make this jump, saves a little bit of time, but there are certainly other tracks where the feathering one is a lot more powerful.
Yeah, I would say CSULB is in a decent spot here, has a decent amount of tops. Their bagger having to move up because of that build cycle, so hopefully one of them was able to get back there again, as if they could just control the tops and the bottoms, and they are definitely going to start breaking down that lead.
Yeah, and it's a complete flip from last lap, as it looks like that's Texas in top 2 now.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good pull to have for lap 3.
Yeah, especially with Raspada in the back, they do have a very good pull here, so if a Shock were to be pulled, Raspada could definitely break into that top 3, if not get first place. But it's, I think, bottom 2 is controlled by Texas, so either one of them's going to have to drop or is pulled, because I definitely would not want to give them a Shock for lap 3.
Yeah, I would not want Texas to get a Shock for lap 3 if I was Long Beach, because that's a star and 1 for Splat. So if Texas and that Fishbone is a little far back, he could be holding.
Yeah, there's 2 of them that haven't really done anything obvious. No build, no star. So any second now, someone is in buildo from CSULB. I believe that's Raspada, who is now in second place.
And then Texas pulled Shock. And then Choco dodged him too.
There's a Bill in like 3. That's top 3? Maybe top 4? Like top 4, like 8, 12.
This is a big race for Texas. That Shock was huge. Yeah, top 3, 5, 8.
Top 3, 5, 8, 12. Fantastic pull by them. Honestly, I saw that start coming out as late as it was. It made sense in the grand scheme of things without just being somewhat reactive to a potential Shock. But that was exactly what they needed. 11th place pulling that Shock, so the person right behind them was also managing to get up at the last moment. But Yeah, that's a little bit of an issue for CSULB Gold, losing a little bit more of that difference, but kind of a questionable move to let them get bot 2 near the end there, no one really cycling back.
Yeah, it's going to be something that Long Beach, I imagine Rispada being a little more of an experienced player in the scene, is going to be mentioning to their team, saying, hey, we kind of let them hold bottom spots a lot of that race. We didn't cycle out when we needed to, and as a result, they ended up pulling Shock. So maybe we'll see Long Beach contesting a little bit harder in the next couple of races, especially with a track pick like Faraway Oasis, where Shock tends to have a little bit more of a factor than some other tracks in this game. Like, Shock is very powerful in this game, especially compared to 8 Deluxe. However, there are specific tracks where a Shock at the wrong point can absolutely ruin a race. We'll have to wait to see the faraway Shock strats as Texas Taco Trucks gets to chain their runner, and this is a track I know that Splat has been practicing, so not really surprised that this is his runner of choice.
Definitely. I could see this being also somewhat of a big Shock track if they just manage to get them after this second or third set. Rispada getting back into the lead, he can definitely just hold these nanas to just ward off anyone like Choco who's trying to push up to the front. And just kind of delivering a stronger run. If he could manage to get the second place off of him, then he could start to create some space and put pressure on that Texas Tech front presence and maybe force them to get a Shock. That is Zane in the back as the primary bagger. So once again, CSULB just looking like that they are the ones in control after that first lap, but time will tell if they can keep holding that pressure on both ends of this track, as Texas will keep on pulling those Shocks if they're allowed to.
Yeah, and it does look like that Long Beach is doing a better job of keeping an eye on those bottom spots, because now there's a lot of blue. Like, obviously Rispada themselves is dropping here now, but it's also the other Long Beach players are in the back.
Yeah,
I think you could see it on the mini-map. Splat ended up catching onto the railing on the trying to go to the top path, and I think they drove off because of it. So Splat's going from the front now back into the lower parts. It is only lap 2.
A decent amount of tops. It's like top 2, 5, 6, maybe? Choco, yeah, no, that was a lot of bottom presence from Texas Taco Trucks. They had a decent amount of people near the back near at the end of lap 2, but it's just the amount of boxes that they get before the end is falling off, and CSULB still has that representative in the back to make sure that they could at least have eyes on Shock.
That was a really crazy aggressive forward, but it's exactly what Choco needed to do. The problem is, can Choco take cut here? Because if he can't, he's going to have to go around. Oh, it looks like he got up. Does Choco hold on to 1? Wow.
Great play by Choco there. Honestly, I was kind of surprised what Star Player did with that star. Using it early, I guess someone as a preventative measure to not get hit by the Shock, but ended up just not being able to take that cut. And Choco, given that circumstance, is extremely happy getting that first place.
Yeah, that was incredible. Like, the awareness to go up to cut behind the boxes, likely trying to get one of the boxes out with a green you pulled from set. That was just that was a heads-up play. And that first place, I mean, if Choco doesn't do that play, Long Beach gets top 2, and that -2 turns into -10.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that Choco's absolutely happy with getting that first place, considering what happened. No Shock coming out, and Texas just kind of in that situation where they had a bunch of bottoms and no one pulled, so sure, a lot can happen after that last set, but, you know, Choco can only do so much, and if he ends up falling out of the tops, just getting overwhelmed, then Texas needs to help support him in the front, or at least at minimum pull Shock as they did in previous races.
Well, here's another track where Shock is quite powerful, because Cheap Falls, not all of this lobby is going to know how to do Tarzan. There's probably at most 4 players in here who I could say could know how to do Tarzan.
I would expect, I don't know if I would say more than 3. I think Rispada, Choco, and then maybe blanking on the second best player on CSULB's name, but I think those three are more than likely capable of it.
Well,
Choco... Yeah,
Spada's points, are they going to go for it?
Yeah, Choco's going for it. He messed it up? Yeah,
Seems like
Spada
it.
with a very dominant first place here, has 2 shrooms. Of course, the main part of this is who's in that second place spot, because if they could just pressure Spada with those reds, then Spada's lead is not that big.
I don't think they'll be pulling reds anytime soon, as it's 2 Texas players and 2-3. Splat with the Ghost in pocket, too. Fantastic position. Let's see if he can stay up, keep up with Raspada here. Splat's going to have to go for Tarzan if he knows how to do it. Otherwise, Raspada's break in 1 is going to be huge. Although Splat started in the back, he might hit it, because look at that break for the tops. He's going for it. Raspada failed.
Check. I don't even think Raspada tried to go for it. Oh, tough. Please don't. Okay, they are not using this room here. I think that's a lot better. Just save. Oh, okay.
It's okay. I mean,
in a
those
situation
two.
now that they've lost their leverage with the shroom, they definitely had that. I believe that they probably should have saved that. I mean, there is a chance that CSULB already has that shock, but if Texas were to pull a shock, that was their complete win condition, a free first place, if you will. Now Raspada has a much higher chance of taking down this first place.
Splat didn't get the defense out in time, so now CSULB in top 2.
Someone's an Omega last from Texas. He does have build-up. Another chance for Raspada to just break away using Tarzan. Nailing it in the most important moment. Where is the Texas opposition here?
Going for ending this. Very
Oh,
clean.
pretty
And that should be enough to hold
good.
on to 1.
Ooh. Okay, that's 2-3, I believe. About like 1-4-5 in the front for CSULB. I think that's Muffin Man and Choco taking that 2-3 away, but a very positive race from CSULB.
Yeah, this is the
yeah,
response
1, 4, 5,
they
6,
needed
definitely.
from the Toad's Factory race.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be those big races. You still have more than enough time. Just getting Choco out of first place is one of the most important things that they can do. Them taking advantage of just the opportunities created by Texas, just whether it be forcing out their dodges early. Certainly no shock came about it, but that Ghost could have been very easily used in a better circumstance, whether it be whenever second place came up with those triple reds. We'll see what they use with this momentum here. Raspada is immediately alone in the front, but there is a bit of help right behind them. I guess they're none the wiser.
I mean,
We'll
they're
see
what,
they end
1,
up
4,
picking here.
5?
Yeah, 1, 4 through 6.
Yeah. So, Raspada's not, like you said, not alone in 1, but definitely needs the help from the people directly behind them.
Yeah.
And Raspada's going to just try and break away on Wario Stadium. Very powerful frontrunner if you know how to do all of the strategies, especially with the most recent updates to the game, with the Valor cut at the middle point of the lap being a lot more consistent with the coin and even easier, not free, but easier to do impossible without the coin there. So even in congested pack, we're going to see players attempt to save that precious time on that tight turn at the end of the lap.
Definitely. Raspada currently holding down the front, but that is Choco right behind them. Not managing to get by them without bumping Raspada off the rail there. It does look somewhat mixed, but I think majority of top 8 is CSULB. I think 9 through 11 is Texas. Let's see where Raspada gets here. Not being able to get any item whatsoever. I was going to say not getting shrooms because of second place, but Choco is certainly in a position to be able to attack them. Splat once again being able to get up very high with those powerful items. That if he can hold off Raspada at least for long enough.
It looks like they got ghosted.
Ooh, if they did.
But very fast on the rails to stay ahead of Raspada. Let's see, can they both hit? Do they both know Valor?
He took the coin.
Oh,
came back
Splat
in
didn't
time.
get there. That's
Splat
unfortunate.
failed the cut. We'll see
Looks
what
like-
happens because of it.
Yeah, Long Beach is now in top 2 because of that
Ooh.
slight mishap. It's not the end of the world. That was not a very clean feather cut from Star Platinum.
He's gonna have somewhat of a clean shot here with these greens.
If he wants to take it, or maybe he's saving it for rail up here. Because this is a really good
Star
spot.
player. He's not gonna get Raspada. He's not close enough to get Raspada.
Oh, he jumped over the
misses
green. It didn't
both of
get.
them. Odie might hit his own green. No,
Ooh.
okay, one of them. He ended up getting him somewhere or another, either whether it be a line fail or just hitting with that green. Raspada is now in the position, though, okay, deciding to stay off railer, Raspada not being able to back them to create more space. 2 through 4, I believe, just a lot of everything outside of 1 for Texas, so Splat can have that ability to just throw these greens up at the end as long as he doesn't hit out anyone.
Oh, that
up.
back.
Great block, great block. Great block by Splat there. There's Spada getting 1, and it just feeling like kind of the opposite here where Texas gets everything other than 1. I think that's, yeah, maybe 9, 10, 12 for CSULB.
2, 3, 5, 6.
Okay, 2, 3, 5, 6.
Just say that's a slight win for Texas because
Yeah.
getting 4 of the top 6 is always good in every race. Like, no duh. But also this sets you up nicely for next race. If you can get a track where you can draft up off 1, maybe picking like a Boo Cinema here or a Dry Bones Burnout to try and get the draft up to establish a front presence immediately, you can have your more technical. You can have your players with more technical knowledge of the game break away. Especially because you have Splat in 2, and I think Choco finished 3rd.
Definitely, and I guess it's worth pointing out at this point, it's been 3 races without a shock, I believe, in a row. So we'll see if that's just kind of a deviation from the norm, or if we're going to see that shock is not very as prevalent as we were expecting in this match, and seeing if teams will just not be too overly aggressive in the back for it, just to make sure that there's enough people in the front so that Choco or Spada does not just consistently get top 2 every single time.
And this is also one of the things we can see an adjustment in Game 2 and Game 3 of the set, where maybe that instead of... Maybe we'll see some of the... like a halftime pep talk from your coach saying like, okay, we're going to guard this guy as hard as we can, right? So maybe that's what the... I mean, that was kind of the strategy where maybe Long Beach was content to give Choco 1 as long as they could establish everything behind 1. But maybe that strategy changes up a little bit, like you said, where now the whole thing is you can't let Choco get 1. You have to try and keep them out of 1. Because now that not Long Beach, Texas has another player capable of staying in these top spots behind Choco, things get a little bit harder.
Yeah, that may be one of the main things that the main win conditions of Texas is whether people like Splat who is managing to get up there with a star or a ghost or multiple shrooms, are they capable of maintaining that spot and taking away a few points from Raspada, or just being able to knock Raspada down? Because it has been a back and forth with Choco and Raspada, that just being that next person up from that gap between the two is probably one of the most important things of this entire match.
I mean, we saw it in the table from the previous matchup that they had, where it was Choco with 150, the next highest scoring Texas Taco Truck player, I think barely broke 80. So it really is going to come down to, can the supporting cast step up?
Yeah, that tends to be how, if they are able to be defeated, that's how it is. Just Choco's going to do his thing. He's going to score extremely well. He is the Div MVP individually. But at the end of the day, it's like you need to have multiple people breaking 80 points. And if you're unable to do so, and it just ends up being a 1, and then second place getting 2 through 5 or 2 through 6, then that's just not enough. Choco can't do everything, so it is up to those Texas players, whether it be to pull multiple shocks or just be the next person up, to just make this less of a numbers game that CSULB wants.
Crimson 2-3 for Long Beach. This is actually pretty solid if they can take cut. Raspada missing the tree, but it's okay because the shroom will still put him on Choco's tail.
Last place is not using anything extremely obvious at this point, but they're running out of time. Bill getting out. And I would say this is... Oh, blue is out, but it's... Yeah, definitely thrown by a Texas player just to make sure that he gets over the line. That's not going to hit Raspada either.
Yeah. And...
Yeah, Batu from Texas.
So it depends on how many of the mid spots did they get. Did a Texas Tech player or a Texas Taco Truck player sneak into top 3? No, it's just 1 6 through 8.
Alright, it's plus 24 before the changes. I am interested. That could be something... Ooh, plus 10 for CSULB Gold. Yeah, definitely frustrating for Choco. I mean, certainly the Texas player in the back has the excuse of holding that blue, but CSULB just won the tops on that case. That sure, Choco won, but he was extremely outnumbered. That those small changes in the 2 through 5 is just going to mean a whole lot more. That... Yeah, no shock pull from Texas, in addition to just simply losing the tops. That is how they're going to lose this match. This is CSULB, just be every other person behind Choco and nothing too crazy happens, because one of Texas's biggest races was being in multiple bottom spots as they were before, but pulling that shock and just getting 3 people to move up almost immediately.
Yeah. Long Beach electing to take one of those tracks for spots behind 1 with Boost Cinema. Whistle stop coming out from the side of Texas, and it looks like we are going to the movies. Again, I like to draw, this is more of a personal thing, but I like to draw comparisons from this track to Mount Wario in 8D, where the last section of this track just becomes an absolute, clown fiesta is the right word to use for it. Everything happens, like plus 20s can turn to minus 30s at the snap of a shock. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, certainly my opinion of this track has changed a lot since it came out, of just originally being that group runner that you can pick. But at the end of it, it's like, if shock happens after the second set and you just have Bill Golden, or just generally a Bill in a 10th or 11th place spot, you can get up to 5th almost easily, that glider being so effective for anyone that has any sort of speed item, whether it be Shrooms, Golden Bill, anything like that. So we'll see. I would say certainly that craziness at the end will benefit Texas, especially if they pull. Raspada keeping them back, and we'll see what happens, because at the current moment, he is likely the furthest player back from CSULB.
I think I would agree if he is in 12th place.
4? Yeah, no, that's like top 4 from Texas. I don't really like this because
Raspada, did he just spam shock?
He spammed. Oh,
and there's a dodge in 1.
Oh my, that could not have gone worse. Texas just really allowing the one thing that you're not expecting to, just giving Raspada so much space to pull a shock, but unfortunately, Fat Finger causing what may be CSULB losing their win condition for this race, and might just lose that momentum that they've had pulling up. There's more than enough time, but the big move to make is gone. And I guess certainly if that was his first item in play, that Raspada would have been extremely obvious holding that shock.
Pipa.
For how... Ooh, he is in the bill, but what about everyone else?
I mean, yeah, it's one gone. This Mega is fantastic, and I like that Splat's holding this. You could consider using it here. You either use it here or you save it for final set. Or final set.
I would save probably for final set.
So it looks like he's just electing to, this is not the place to use that.
Ooh, he didn't get his drift out. Ends up killing a CSULB player, but they are far back enough that they could pull a bill. Muffin is going to get several spots there. That's like 1, not that great for... Oh no, that's bot 2 from CSULB, I believe.
Looks like Texas did manage to hold on to 1.
I wouldn't be surprised if CSULB got like a 2-3 there, but everything after... Not as big as anticipated, but I would say that definitely goes in the favor. Is that even?
That was dead even.
Wow. Okay, I guess...
Unless I put in the spot wrong. Nope, it's dead even.
That's crazy. Honestly, I don't really know how that would have swayed in either favor more. Texas did just immediately win that race off of a first place dodge, but CSULB getting a shock when they have not been as successful pulling in the past, just immediately losing it. It certainly helped Raspada, but once again, it kind of works in both ways that it can't just, a shot cannot just help one player. That those big races like that, Toad's Factory are won when you get 3 to 4 people dodging in really good positions.
Yeah, it was the spam shock on the part of Long Beach was just unfortunate, but it happens. The last thing you want that to do is affect the next race, because yes, that spam shock affected Boo Cinema, but Boo Cinema's complete. It's up to, there's 3 races left, it's 14 points, you gotta move forward.
Yeah, definitely. At this point, there is still a lot to happen and a lot could happen, so the most important part is just to leave that in the past. It wasn't something absolutely catastrophic. It was even. That, sure, I guess you can go around saying, like, oh, what if we had this? We could have had multiple dodges, but at the end of the day, it's not like Texas got like a plus 20 off of an opponent's shock. That all that happened was that the needle for time just moved a little bit further, and they have one less chance to catch up. But 14 is not that big of a difference.
It doesn't help that Raspada got draft bumped off the rail. At least that they're still alive.
Yeah.
But that's a
Top
Texas
2.
player in 1. Yeah, that's Texas
that
top 3 already. And this tech is
I was
not
about
easy
to
to
say-
come back on without shock.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, I don't even know if Choco's up there, but he is being hidden by the icons of his other 2 teammates. So that is top 3. Raspada being in the back, and we will see how they will use that, whether LT will have to drop back here to pull shock, or if Raspada's going to be it's going to be Raspada. Okay. Thank you for answering my question. But if that's bot 3 for CSULB, and yeah, Texas needs to send someone back, or else they're just going to have the exact same thing happen as last time, but someone with not as happy of a trigger finger.
It looks like either
They're not
2 got bumped for Texas, or there was a Long Beach player managed to catch up. But the Texas tops have been infiltrated. It looks like it's Splat gone in 1. That's 2-3 for them in the moment. Okay, 3-4 for Long Beach.
Yeah, they had 2 bills move up after Raspada, so there could be a bill or a shock in a spot as high as 7th place if they can leverage in a way where they just dodge everyone who does not have a dodge in like 9th and 10th. That this could be a really big deal, but it's going to have to come out eventually here. No,
I like that aggressive shroom.
That's bot 3, or at least bot 2 still. One of them is in bill extension coming from 11th place, but the other 2 are looking pretty obvious for having a shock. One of them, I believe, just entered Mega. Maybe not, but it's got to come out soon.
Yeah, the
If
Feather
they
will
don't,
secure.
then they're-
I mean, Feather
might
secures
just get
2,
timed
but
out here.
that looks like a great Texas race.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that was a last set pull or not, but that just came way too late. That CSULB had those bombs, and that's certainly in a spot that you want to be in. But if you don't pull, then, and also don't pull a build for extension, you're just simply going to have multiple bot spots there, and that's just going to sway it even further in Texas's favor. I'm not necessarily sure if Raspada just had there to make sure they didn't get TS'd, or if someone ended up just pulling it way too late, but that was how Texas wanted it to go. Ended up making a mistake there, giving way too many bottom spots to CSULB, but to their luck, CSULB was not able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, pre-update, that race would have been like plus 30 the other way, because Long Beach would have pulled everything they needed, because, you know, they had bot 2 the whole race. But you were right. They took a gamble. That shock wasn't going to come. They gave Long Beach all the bottom spots and focused on controlling the mid-pack. And that allowed Splat to have a crazy breakaway, where even though he didn't quite make the rail strat perfectly lap 3, he still had a very comfortable first place.
Absolutely, that just going almost perfectly for Texas, and now they're in a position where they don't need to win this race. You know, certainly if they get a plus 10, then it's 100% put away. But honestly, I would not really like my case if that difference is more than 20 going into the last race, because then Well, just straight up, you're going to have to get Choco to lose to multiple people on your team, and that is a pretty difficult pull. That or just literally like 4 or 3 bot 5.
It has happened. Choco ended up getting a bottom spot on Boo Cinema, but I think he kind of just got destroyed by the blue shell and then everything that came after.
Definitely, I think that is one of those cases that you can't really fully rely on that again, that they need to get in a lot more comfortable position. Hopefully just back to a plus 14 position there. But yeah, Texas currently controlling the back. Not that it necessarily matters right now. They did send someone back to contest.
Who knows cut?
Alright, let's see it splat. No.
Not quite. Choco, of course, getting it.
Oof.
I think I'm stopping set splat. Yeah, especially after getting hit.
Oh, that's tough. They do have control of
forward.
last. I think he's just going to keep moving forward, that they have someone who's absolutely determined to be in the back there. And I do kind of like their positioning. And around this spot, I'd rather be in last right now, just to pull a lap 2 shock. But a few bills coming up, they can see if they could take advantage of that. Just only getting at most 1 pull there at the end. Mini is not going for it, just going for a more reserved thing there. Raspada still being able to control a top spot despite missing it as well. But yeah, eyes are going to be on the back here, certainly, as Raspada has what they need to get first place here very easily. That second place might be lost to Choco at some point. But Texas is, I'd say, a bunch of lower mids at this point.
Yeah, the mid pack is really tight. Like, last is kind of stuck last. But the tops, and one has a bit of a break, but this mid pack is tight, and they're shocked.
Yeah, he had shock. They did. I don't think that. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that might have just been a case that they were trying to get a bunch of dodges and they just didn't get them.
No splat! You don't side trick there. Oh, that's unlucky.
Wait, first place goes to Choco.
Wait, Raspada died.
Like 1, I think that's 2 through 4 for, yeah, there's a lot of bots for Texas, but I do believe that like 145 ends up making up for it. Or the 156, just kind of neutralizing things enough.
Yeah, you were right, 145.
145. It bot 3, so that's, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a loss, but yeah, 26 is still a very solid lead that they're going to have. I mean, I'll ask you, in your opinion, do you think that CSULB has a chance of destroying this deficit without a shock?
I don't think so, because I don't think Long Beach has quite demonstrated the coordination to be able to push Choco to the back spots. Because, yeah, Choco has been hit out at the start of the race, but then afterwards, Choco's consistently been able to work his way back up towards the front, and that's been the case for other Texas players as well. Race 12. When you're up 26, generally, I like to pick a track where it's really hard to get big races on. These are 2 tracks where big races can absolutely happen to the right teams.
Let's pick 2 tracks that, yeah, certainly have a pretty obvious shock spot. But if the other team does not cover it well enough, then you just have 2 to 3 people just have really boosted items and just are able to take multiple huge cuts.
Well,
let's see. Splat is
3 races to go, 26-point differential for CSU Long Beach. Splat electing to take an early bag or route.
This is the last race.
Let's see.
Okay, CSULB player in the back. I would not be surprised if they're just very aggressive trying to pull that shock because their comeback starts with them.
It's a fantastic pull. Splat just needs to begin to run this up if possible. Ooh.
Just lap 1 of a, very a track that can constantly change on a dime, especially with the shock, but
that waterfall section is dangerous.
Yeah, I would say certainly something that if it's, I guess a little bit less if they win, but Splat needs to avoid those small little line fails just so they're able to conserve power items a little bit further. Okay, so yeah, they do have a Texas player contesting, and it is Choco at the same time, so he knows how to identify the symptoms or signs that shock is in play. Bill being forced up, and we could see if something happens after that. But Raspada and Star Playa are a couple of top 3. Yeah, they are top 2 at this point.
Yep, gotta be careful. Splat getting very lucky that Raspada's teammates was very hungry for bananas.
Yeah. Zane falling off on the waterfall there in the back, so they do have multiple people in the back. They need to get a shock.
But when is too late? Because right now this is a Texas top 2. As Slap the Rat has moved his way up. Raspada getting redded, not able to block it.
I will say, this is a great position. Raspada's got to TS themselves, but a lot of Texas is like top within the top 6. They can get almost everyone. Okay, second set happening, so the obvious point to shock is gone.
This is it. Last chance
Both
for shock.
Bills.
Right
I don't think they're gonna. It's gonna have to be really late. Both of them are in Bills. I think they are not going to pull, or if they pull,
yeah,
it's gonna
but Splat's
be
gonna
way
get
too late.
That's top 2 for Texas, and that's
late. Yeah, that's
well.
a good game.
It's
Choco falling?
I think the Long Beach
last.
won, but it's not enough to win the war.
Yeah, I think that is a gain for Long Beach.
Yeah, 1/4. That's enough.
Yeah, 1-4 is enough.
That was really even, huh?
Yeah, that was great job to I mean, kudos to Texas there. Choco having another one of those rare cases, as we said, you can't really wish on it every single time, but they got Choco out of a I believe out of a top spot. They did get someone to die on the line, but it ended up just not being enough that the rest of Texas, whether it just be the 1st or the 4th place, was able to cover just enough to justify a bunch of CSULB's mid spots.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining back and forth game 1, where Texas tended to hold the lead for most of it. But Long Beach kind of just slowly clawed their way back up. There were small races after small races, but looking back at the board block, Texas was always in top 2. There was not one race where Long Beach managed to get both 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's the issue, especially I would say of the 2 teams, like which one you want to see not in the best. Certainly, just has a better level of consistency. Always having a player in top 3 every single time, and just usually having someone in a top 6 spot, if not top 5. That CSULB can't necessarily wish for a massive plus 30 race at this point. That they definitely need to just at least stay even or in the front, because those opportunities to get a massive race on Texas are definitely going to be not often, especially with their struggling to pull shock near the end.
Yeah, and ultimately we can also look at the 2 biggest races of the war, and ultimately the 2 difference makers of the war belonged to Texas, with a massive plus 18 going into race. They had a plus 18 on race 10, and they had a plus 20 on race 4. A lot of other races Long Beach won, like race 3, -2, race 5, -2, race 6, -8. Long Beach getting a plus 10 to enter the final GP, but they didn't have that one sucker punch race to cut into Texas's lead that they had just held since race 2.
Yeah, I don't have access to... I'll probably try to look up what race that happened, because I do remember looking back at the first meeting between Texas Taco Trucks and CSULB Gold that they did have at least one pretty big swing. I know Texas Taco Trucks certainly had a really big one. I believe that they top 5'd on MC. So that definitely brought it back within that favor. And CSULB ended up being able to clutch it out with that Dino Dino Jungle. Just multiple tracks that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see in a war. And I guess one of the potential alternatives or solutions that CSULB can consider is going a little bit off the menu, a little crazy, to try and get Choco out of a top spot. But at the same time, if they aren't really contesting the back, then Texas can just immediately pull shock and just completely change that idea and throw it out the window.
Well, ultimately, something interesting that happened here was Choco tied ended with Raspada. Choco was on like 80 plus after 6 and only finished with 130. So Long Beach did a good job of controlling Choco in the back half. The only issue is Texas stepped up, because I think bottom 3 on the table went to Long Beach, and ultimately that was the undoing for Long Beach. Of course, this is a best of 3, so we'll see how Game 2 goes, and we will be right back with it.
All right, welcome back. We are here for Game 2 of Texas Taco Trucks versus CSULB Gold. This is that point where we're going to get to see if Texas Taco Trucks will go into finals with a very dominant 2-0 performance over someone who they failed to defeat in the regular season, or if CSULB can use this one last chance, this last opportunity to come back and show why they were able to take that game in the regular season in the first place. Are you excited, LeBob?
I am very, very excited. I think this game 1 was really, really close, and game 2 has the potential to be more of the same. Because, again, while Long Beach didn't have that crazy good race, they had a bunch of little good races. And if they can just find that one crazy good race, this could go to game 3. That is how close it was.
Definitely, and I did look back at their meeting in the regular season and trying to find out what were those big shifts. They never had anything too crazy above like a plus 20, but it was kind of interesting because they're two big races, those things that swung them back into a positive differential was Boost Cinema and Faraway Oasis, two tracks that we ended up seeing come out that didn't necessarily go the way that they wanted. I believe on a different track, it was Wario Shipyard, they got a top 3. That most of the tracks that they managed to have a great differential on the first time did not pan out one way or another, whether it be that they just lost the tops, or in that Boost Cinema case that they had the leverage but immediately lost it with that shock spam.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say if that one singular mistake ended up costing the game as a whole, but it is unfortunate, and you know, we'll never know. It'll live in the land of hypotheticals, like Justin Herbert's playoff wins.
Definitely, that and it is true that that utility of that shock definitely would have been capped at some point if Choco was controlling that shock a little bit more, because safe to say, based off of how aggressive and how many points Raspada has put up at this point, that if Raspada is in the back for more than 30 seconds not using anything, that they could definitely just start covering shock spots, because it's obvious that they have. And if Raspada gets too far back as that primary person to be able to capitalize on a shock, that they would have only been able to get like a plus 14 max. I think Texas definitely would have counterplayed that well enough. And we will see if those happen again. Those are certainly fairly common tracks, especially if Texas has multiple top spots. I could see CSULB picking Faraway Oasis again. And we will see if that was just simply a fluke of Texas Tech being able to just finally have a good race on those tracks, or if it ends up not being as great as CSULB envisioned.
Oh, all I know is game 1 was really, really close. Game 2 is underway.
Yeah, definitely. That race 11 just kind of swaying things a little bit more. It was still a one race series, but having plus 14 with 2 races to go is a pretty big change. I believe when looking back on it, they were down around minus 14 before going to that race 11, having that Faraway Oasis that shifted them into a positive position. That it really just comes down to a single race, regardless of the situation, regardless who's up. Dino Jungle coming off a rip. This ended up being the clincher the first time that they met. I am interested to see what happens the first time that they played this. They managed to just get to the tops, just have multiple people in those top spots and maintain it. Nothing really happening. No massive shock play. Just being they won the tops. Nothing crazy happened. Texas Tech either not being able to pull, or just certainly did not try hard enough to get it. That if they could produce that same energy, that is what CSULB is going to be looking for.
Yeah. This track, however, not entirely one where driving forward is a popular strategy, given the size of this shroom cut here at the end that we're going to see Raspada shroom for, and the importance of being able to take this cut late into the race.
Absolutely, and we will see what Raspada does here. That is top 2, and Choco is more than likely in the front. That if you do want to get multiple top spots again, he's the #1 problem. And yes, it's true that if Raspada does not face any sort of pressure whatsoever, he can take over that first place spot, taking that massive shroom cut. But what about everyone else?
Well, we'll see.
Bot 2 is contested. Splat being able to take it, that is not good because it's oh no, okay, yeah. Splat still maintaining a shot coming in from Choco, and he could get multiple of them with this back bomb, but he's gonna have to coordinate it with Muffin so he doesn't kill him as well.
I like the play to
If
chain
Raspada
those
killed, yeah, since he killed Muffin, I could see him like back bombing here because Raspada's definitely gonna go for that cut. If he could just get him in the same line.
Oh, shock.
Ooh, that's a
shock.
CSULB shock. That's the CSULB shock. The Toadette in the back being able to pull in last place. Top 3? Only one of them being able to take cut though. No, that's top 4. 2 CSULB players are able to take cut. Everyone converging up. Raspada just honestly the only CSULB player getting the short end of the stick. This is looking really, really good. And Raspada's probably going to be able to pass a couple of them near the end here.
We'll see. Yeah, that shock was
brilliant race by CSULB. That might just be like I could very easily, if this goes to a game 3, we're going to see this again almost immediately. Oh wow, that is the most positive race you're probably ever going to see from CSULB come out. Perfect execution there. Top 3, 5, 6, I believe, coming out from them. Minus 30 is insane. CSULB getting exactly what they need to start this off. That certainly there is so much struggle to come back when they were on the back foot, having that deficit. Right now, this is CSULB's time, that if they are the team that is less capable of winning this game, this is your time to put up as much of a lead as possible that Texas is going to have to chip up at. That this is exactly what you need. We will see what happens. There is not a perfect track for this situation. Certainly Choco will come back again to the front, but okay, interesting. Yeah, so MC coming out there. I believe that Texas ended up getting a top 3, or like top 3, 6, 7 on this the last time they faced each other. So this is their counter pick, something that can certainly bring this back down to +0 after race 2.
Well, again, it all comes down to execution because, like you mentioned, this is the one thing that Long Beach was missing in that first game.
Yeah.
And now that that happened, Long Beach has taken their first lead of the set. How does Texas respond? Because Texas in the first race or in the first match didn't entirely have like a ton of huge races. They had good races and they had winning races. But most of the races were either
higher than like a plus.
Yeah, they had like a slight win, slight loss, and then 2 wins of +18 and +20. And those 2 wins did end up being the difference maker in the war. But
I'm interested to see what happens with this. But yeah, when looking at that went as bad as it possibly could have for Texas. That Choco ended up getting last place. He just got absolutely obliterated once the defense came crashing down, and everyone around him was just able to pass up, ended up dying as well probably, and not being able to get a build to catch up like Raspada did. There is someone really far back. There is a lot of tops for CSULB, so I feel like this is another race that will come down completely to whether this guy has shock or not. Splat is out of dodge. He needs to pull another one. They could get these 2 into set. He is not spamming that dodge, so it's not extremely obvious that he has.
Oh, no, the wrong drift?
He's going to lose a spot for that.
Oh,
He's gonna
no! I was a teammate who passed him.
That's a massive swing that they could have not only taken that place from 4th, but they would not have TK'd either. That's like top 3? Top 2. Another great race from CSULB. Nothing really happening. That is a massive track that, you can get the bottom spots back into the tops, but not ended up being the case. CSULB just has an absolute chokehold over the tops here.
Yeah.
Choco got 9th, I believe.
They're doing a great job of forcing Texas to break their way into the front as a group rather than letting Choco kind of run away with it at the front.
Yeah, I will try and have an unbiased perspective on this, but yeah, that was one of the primary things that I noticed, and just the main threat of facing CSULB when in Division 2 is that obviously Raspada can occasionally match Choco, but their biggest threat was when they were able to get into the tops and don't lose hold of it. Because we've had some races where, yeah, they would have, I believe they had top 4 on on Dandelion Deaths after lap 1, but enough change that we were able to bring it back positive. But the closest that they ever had to defeating us at that point was when they got a top 5 on Mario Bros. The Brothers, Mario Bros. Circuit. They got a top 5 against us, and it wasn't anything crazy. They didn't like steal shock or anything from us. It was just simply they got multiple people, an entire group to the top, and they didn't lose hold of it. That we did not pull shock. They just did exactly what they needed to. It went in the right direction, and my team was not able to capitalize on it.
Well, we'll see how this race pans out, because generally you pick Whistle Stop and you've got spots behind one because they can go in the rail. However, I think this race was like slight positive towards Texas last time, wasn't it?
It could have been. I don't distinctly remember.
Because Respada got horned out on the line.
Yeah, and they had 2 people fail cut as well. Yeah, Choco ended up being able to slip into the top at the end. This is a certainly interesting track, one that I did not see a whole lot of in Division 2, because I guess it's kind of a statement in itself that if you have multiple people capable of hitting that cut, or at least just being able to hit any of the cuts, whether it be the rock cut, the charge jump, this can be like a skill differ, one that if you have the people in the right spot, you can just be like, okay, I have confidence that you can take away CSULB's tops or Texas's closest tops and just take advantage, get away with it, and just get a very solid turnaround.
Yeah. The stuff going on in the mid-pack really does benefit Texas because it allows Choco...
Trip Reds, that's 2
Choco
people next to
fell
him.
off. And the...
Got him, great move there.
Yeah, schlagged him. And now this is a dominating
That's like
position
bot
for
3.
Respada.
Bot 3 out of 4 from CSULB here. They better pull something. Okay, Zane falling off, but it ended up being 10th place that had it. Zane might just get immediately last here, unfortunately, if he has a chance to catch up. But top 2 from CSULB, not getting to hit him. Choco is dead.
Oh my. That bomb was close.
The bomb almost hitting him.
The spike balls were close. Respada got to hit the
check.
cut. Doesn't get it.
Oh! Does it really even matter, though? Someone has to hit it from the other team for it to matter.
That'll matter.
Oh!
That was a lot behind
okay,
one for Texas.
That is a lot. That's a massive change. I thought I was like, oh, it's only 3rd place, 4th place drop, but that's a lot of Texas passing. Wow! Wow, that was not what I thought was going to happen. CSU will be struggling there near the end with those bot spots, but they had around top 3 near the end. I'd say I don't really expect more than one person to take the cut from Texas. It was just simply a lot happened on the line, and there was more than enough people to capitalize on it.
Yeah, that coin shell hitting out Respada at the end was tragic, and it looks like within the chaos, another Long Beach player, whoever the biddy player is, ended up catching a stray, and they also dropped to a bottom spot, which allowed Texas to turn that potentially even to slightly losing race into plus 12, which, yeah, you're down 36, but it's still very doable.
Yeah, no, that is definitely what they needed, that CSULB were in that position that they want to be having multiple tops.
You think that dry pick is intermission? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, that would have been a interesting way for this to go. But yeah, that was, they had their tops. They ended up pulling shock. That was supposed to be a very good situation for CSULB. But I mean, great look for Texas there. That was not their shock, and they didn't have tops, and they still managed to pull something positive out of it. That was very unexpected.
Yep. And it's just like I mentioned last year, how the 2 big racers that Long Beach had, Texas was out of top 2, and nobody from Texas could, come up and claim the top 2 spots.
I like that from Muffin.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Then last race, it looked like it was good, but then Texas managed to squeeze every value out of the last inches of the track that they could.
Yeah, I will say as part of this comeback, something that could potentially help it is if someone like Respada is in the back. I would not be completely against someone just having like a red and 12th and attacking them. That if you could just get these players tilted, that will definitely help get that motivation back. That you don't have to you could definitely put the pressure on while you're down. We are starting to see that. He does have a build, a brilliant spot, so I am slightly concerned for Texas's sake of you need to get him out of this position. Whether it get him to push him down, almost fell off there.
I was going to say.
But if they pull shock, Respada's probably going to get first. I mean, certainly he would definitely need a good pocket item, probably more shrooms, so he can take the cut after that second or third set usage.
There is one specific word in that statement that I want to draw attention to, and that's if. Because if not, Choco is gone. And
that
Splat
is a very far back player in last. He went around cut.
He's probably holding Boyle. Either that or he's holding shock.
Respada
forced into Bill.
He has Bill. Okay. There's last place moving up with Bill. I am interested to see what happens after that. So it was not a blue, and at this point I would say just fall off so you can still be able to have shot gods one last. But yeah, this is that point. It's going to have to happen soon if you're going to take away Choco. They can't get top 2 out of set, and that would get Zane immediately into set as well. No, not going to be a top 2 out of set move there. Oh, that's not good. He might even kill his teammate here. Choco's past the line. He's going first.
Choco's up past the line. Splat looks like he's going to hold on to a top
lose
spot.
That's a lot of bottoms. That's like 7. I think at least 3 people in the back there, including last from CSULB. I think this is slightly positive for Texas. Yeah. 7, 9, 10, 12. Pretty painful there. No shot coming out.
Yeah, 2 races, they cut the deficit in half. 12 points and 12 points again, so... This is good momentum for Texas. Of course, Long Beach still in the driver's seat, holding on to a 24-point lead, but momentum feels like it's shifting the other way.
Yeah, that's the main point I would say, is that, you know, regardless of what the scoreboard says, like, who feels like they're in the right position? That you could still be down, but the point is, if you're coming off of multiple gains, like, you could be up and still be scared, because the momentum is shifting. If your team is not fully connected or just has been struggling these past few races, that Texas Tech can certainly feel a lot more confident, be a lot more aggressive, and kind of have these CSULB players second guess themselves of like, are we capable of beating this team, or did we just kind of have this temporary vision with a couple of races?
Well, only one way to find out. Gotta play the rest of the war out.
Yeah, Respada was one of the people that slipped down here, but was able to get a bill extension. I don't believe... No, Shock came on this track, but it was like last 10 seconds, so it ended up not really mattering. So we will see if Respada just ends up getting in the back again, or if this will just be a case where he's able to contest that top spot more effectively.
Of course, the opening to this track is so important, because if you can't stay in front, it's really hard. Like I said last game, it's really hard to come back.
Choco lost his top spot. He does have a shroom, though. That's top 3, I believe. Yes, top 3 from CSULB. Just a very brief victory here, and we'll see if it lasts longer. Great job getting rid of those nanas. What? Having triple shrooms, as long as they don't line fail, like, there's your first place right there. And they do have someone in last place contesting as well.
Yeah. I mean, Texas still has front presence. They're 2-4 right now.
They're in 1.
And Choco hit out
they're
Watt,
in 1.
so...
They're in 1.
Oh, but Choco,
he died!
Choco fell off.
Okay. Muffin Man.
Looks like, wait, the other spike is up there. That's Splat, I think. Yeah.
Oof. That is a decent amount of bots from CSULB, including Respada there. We will see if... I guess... Yeah, we'll see sooner or later if they have the shock. Their last place is currently in a mega. But Splat, if they call an obvious shock, Splat just gets first place.
Maybe. Once you get behind
Texas,
the star.
Yeah, they have
oh
bot
my
2.
god.
CSULB's going to have bot 2 because they're furthest.
Oh, that is such an unfortunate ghost. It was his teammate's ghost, too. It was Choco's ghost.
CSULB is looking really good right now. Or ish, I guess. Saying really good because they have bot 6. But they're having multiple pulls where they could just get a shock. That
if they don't, this race is all Texas.
Yeah, they need to have shock in like 8 or 9 and just have 3 people take extension after shock happens. It needs to come out right now. That is not an extension from Raspada.
This is top 6 Texas.
This is Fridge, yeah. Okay. Well,
there's Bills. Okay, it's not a Fridge, and there is a late shock, but
okay,
Choco dodged because he stole flat
That's not enough. That's not enough, honestly. Yeah, no, 2 Bills is not enough, and I think that should have came a little bit earlier to have that effect. Yeah, one of the Bills dodging is still just going to get last place. That is like top. It's like 1, 3 through 6?
I think at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Star player doing that job there, being able to get the extension as high as maybe 8th place and then dodging, but...
That shock turned up. I think that without that shock, that's genuinely a Fridge. Like, there's nothing that Long Beach
definitely. Well, I would say not a Fridge, but very close to it. That Star player was in 7th place in build, that I think they would have passed a couple of people just off of getting that extension. But at the same time, it's like, that's not certain at the same time, because Raspada or Star player would enter or exit that bill, and 1 through 3 and 5 through 7 are all against you. So if someone behind you is triple greens, like, they are going to attack you immediately. But yes, that could have been so much worse. But yeah, CSULB getting the shock there as they needed, and they had the bills, but it just wasn't enough. Whether they were just too far back or just didn't have enough time to execute it correctly. And at the same time, it's kind of hard to catch up to a group of 6 because no one's really dying. You can't really catch up to people when no one's dying.
Yeah, if they had any attack items, they were doing a great job of spacing out. But Shy Guy Bazaar, again, this is Choco's track. This is Texas electing to choose this for all of their top spots. Just have to be careful not to bump each other out on the start. Splat getting the short end of the stick, but it's okay, as Shrooms and Bills go a long way on this track.
I will say it is certainly demoralizing for CSULB at this point. Still very capable of winning, but the fact that you had that big plus 30 swing and then managed to get another plus 16 in there, maybe another plus 20, and it's gone before the halfway point. That is very unfortunate. CSULB once again going to have access to a lot of the bottom spots, but the last time that happened, nothing really occurred, even when they pulled. That if CSULB just ends up giving them the top spots, this is going to be a lot quicker of an ending that we would anticipate.
Well, it looks like Raspada and Choco are 1-2 right now. Splats in 4, but Long Beach holding some spots behind 1. It kind of depends on
Does he know the timing? Okay, because I was about to say, like, if Watt is clearly unarmed, then you can just spam the Shroom, pull out the red, and get them while they're right before they go off that ramp, so you can just respawn them. Which you'd have to be very quick about it. It's more just about not allowing Watt to have enough reaction time.
Oh my goodness, Splat managing to dodge the greens, just, falling off.
They fell off too, though. That's a lot of CSULB at the top. The bot 2 is very far in the back, but one of them is billing up, so the more likely option is that... No, Texas has Bill as well.
We'll see. Doesn't look like any of the bot spots have anything crazy.
They have dodges. Choco's still holding 1, so this is at minimum not like a plus 30.
Gotta be careful of those trip greens.
Now, if this is a late usage, this could be really good for CSULB because they're going to get a couple people in the set. No, yeah, last is pulling
Watch
Bill.
the Mega Splat.
Watch Zane. Okay, that is.
I think it's 1-5.
Pretty good for CSULB.
1-5 for Texas.
Yeah, 1-5. 1-5, and 2 through 4, 6 from CSULB.
5, 7, 8.
That's about even, honestly.
Nah, this is Long Beach plus a few.
Okay, yeah, plus 6 for
but
CSULB.
For all intents and purposes, this is a dead heat.
Yeah, well, at minimum, you stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
That Texas was like plus 40 or 50 in 3 races. That
Long Beach
minimum
was
just
down
stopping...
40. No, up 40. Long Beach was up almost 50 after 2 races, and then Texas had their lead by race 6.
Yeah,
so,
the fact that you just stopped the absolute domination of that front pack is fantastic, and we will see where they go from here. But to even though they're up, I guess just the whole stage of securing this win will start with just stopping the motivation from the other team.
Both teams electing to go ice cream. I really like this pick from the perspective of Texas, because year one, you've got a lot of mid-bottom spots who can pull shrooms. So, this track is perfect for them. And it looks like we're going to go there. We'll never know whose pick it was, though.
Safe to say.
I mean, this is it. This is it. These next 6 races could determine the set. So, play smart and win races. That's all you got to do, right?
Absolutely, I am interested to see what happens when it comes to lap 3, because there is like several points where I'd say there's like a solid 20-second frame that if they pull shock lap 3, they could just TS them and force them to fall off, whether it be the cut or just those small gaps in between. But it looks like CSULB currently has hold of 1. Yeah, yes, a non-Respata player is currently in 1. Respata currently sitting around 6th place. Yes. Ooh, quick cut here. Let's see how much time that'll gain them. 1 spot.
This is the same stuff that Respata was doing in Game 1 when this track was played. Trimming up to try and
great
kill
move.
Shoko. Yes, I love that.
Great move. Yeah, I was scared there because it's like he was too close to just be able to spam his rune and hit him off the glider, but just doing something very similar. That is 2-3 from Texas. They are losing their dodge though. Same thing with CSULB losing that ghost. Bot 2 is looking like to be CSULB unless Texas has something to say about it.
Although, again, it's lap 2 sky high. It's not over yet. Lap 3 tends to swing a lot of things.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, that's a slip there from Respata, but they will have complete eyes on the back here. If that empty hand ends up being the shock, then they are in a great position. Splat is that person to watch, though, because if they dodge, they're great. They're fine. And I would... It really is like a coin...
the greens, and he survives!
That is crazy. It is a coin flip, though, of whether they're going to use the shock now or in the turn. Splat, though, being able to use the star now is a decent... If he gets over the cut unharmed, then he is perfect execution on that. Yeah, he got over it. They can't get first anymore unless something hits them.
Watch the green. Oh, he tricked into it!
No!
Oh, and that's Long Beach top 2 off it! Oh, that's so tragic.
Oh.
Man.
Oh, well, they're fine. That's...
Yeah, but that's a lot of points you lose out on.
That is minus...
It's still a positive race because Texas managed to get 3 through 7, but 1, 4 through 7... It's +2 Texas. But 1, 4 through 7...
Yeah, is that a -10 swing?
Yes, it's a 10-point swing.
Yeah, it's a 10-point swing off of that. That is huge.
Remember, kids, back cam's important.
Green. Yeah. You're never safe. That is fantastic from CSULB. That the bleeding almost started again. Still negative, but that was... It feels like they were certainly on ice there. On thin ice of just almost losing that that ability to control the game again. But yeah, once again, it was the person in first was not Choco. That Choco, this is probably the most he's ever struggled in a match so far this season.
And this is exactly what needed to happen for Texas to have that chance to win. Is as you look at the end of Splat and Microwaves sitting at 60 and 57 respectively after 7 races, and Choco's only on I'm not gonna say the number.
6. Yeah. Yeah. We'll bring someone in here to say it because I do not wish to say it either. But yeah, the point is Texas players are being able to step up here in the most important moment. And yeah, I did see a couple of players struggling to score, even if they are up. That I believe that Watt has not been able to get to the front as much as they could have. They were someone who, when we play them or just when I look at the tables, they are consistently able to break 100 points. All right, we'll see. Splat is, I would say, credit to Splat. They are really good at being able to get dodges high.
Yes. Splat
That
also,
the
again,
execution.
being a T-tier, Splat knows how to drive. So it's up to, like, he's got the course knowledge to be able to pass all of the Long Beach players. He just needs to be able to play smart with his items. Choco and Raspada having a battle, it looks like, in top 2. I might have held that Shroom, because now what do you do with this Mega?
Yeah, it's the second. It's always that back part of the execution for Splat. That if he's just able to actually use it to dodge, or just not burn it in a point of desperation, he's probably gonna use it now.
Gets a Shroom behind, which is still really good.
That's fine. But yes, Texas does have someone finally back. There was a brief point, at least for one set, where CSULB had bought 2. Texas has someone pretty far back, and we will see it in probably in the next 30 seconds if that was a 11th killing out 12th, or if this person is very much armed in the back. But this is looking like Raspada or CSULB just having 1-0, just a bunch of bottoms, and just everyone looking back to make sure if that person in last will be the absolute doom for the rest of CSULB.
He doesn't have it out now. He just came out of Bill and used a Mega. So if Shock is in play, it's getting pulled this set, or CSULB has it.
Yeah, if they use it soon, they can get like 4 CSULB players up here. But once again,
oh, that bomb!
Your time. Whoa!
Wow!
Brilliant
that was
shot
an insane bomb.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Raspada will likely hold one. Splat flipping down, blue coming out.
Yeah, that one bomb turned, okay, he does still manage to get the finish.
Oh,
I was worried, I saw it. But, wow, that bomb from Kuso was insane!
Bot 2 is painful from them there, but all things considered, when it came to the mid-pack play, the upper mid-pack play, they won. CSULB won the battle of hitting people out at the last moment. And I am interested to see what happened with those bot 2. The Texas player in the back being able to catch up and just kind of stop the as big of a gain. But yeah, no, the blue ended up being in the hand of someone in like 7th or 8th place. And I think it might have been a Texas player who definitely would have been incentivized to use it. That might have just been a last set pull.
That's what I'm thinking, because
yeah,
if it was a Long Beach poll, you'd think that there would be a Long Beach player sitting in 12. But
it would be one of the bot 2. Yeah.
It would have had to have been, like, I think that makes sense.
It would have come out a long time ago. Yeah.
Hey, last GP,
okay.
Long Beach holding on to a slight lead and getting Wario Stadium. It's the other situation where instead of Texas being in the lead by just a little bit, it's Long Beach, but we'll see.
Yeah,
it's a close set. It's a great set.
Yeah, no, this race definitely defines what happens, because if they come back into it, Texas erases that deficit, anything could happen. But if CSULB, if this is that race where they get a plus 12, then you get Texas starting to sweat, then suddenly it's like, okay, well, we need at least one big race. Or if CSULB gets one more positive race, then it's really, really bad. You'd have to get multiple positive races or a top 5 on a single race with only 2 opportunities. Oof. Okay, interesting choice for Spada deciding to let Choco take that Nisk. He will have a great opportunity after taking the Shroom cut to be able to throw up those triple greens. So Choco certainly has a target on his back. Does even need it. Oh, no.
Wow,
Great
nice
shot.
snipe. Great throw. That was really aggressive,
the,
throwing it there instead of waiting for the rails, where it was a lot more guaranteed.
Yeah, and he's right sticking there. Just a little bit of skills being represented there. Getting a box, but only a single. Choco is still in control of second, but a bill from CSULB is coming up. CSULB is going to get bot 2 this set, or Texas is. So we will see if that changes anything, but Raspada no longer has a Shroom to be able to just maintain that lead, and we'll see if Choco, yeah, okay, at minimum Splat is going to be able to cut that deficit. or just cut that lead of both of them are. But yes, Choco is probably going to do what you said that last lap and try and throw up these greens on the rail. It's just a question of, does he have enough time to do so? Is Raspada just too far long? I think he is.
Looks like it, yeah.
We has hit this cut. Okay.
I
yes,
think
very important.
does Splat win this race here? As long as he... Okay, going around
They
Baylor?
need a shock. That's not... I don't like that execution of it. I think they may have, and he does not want to lose this. But he needs to go into dodge now, and shock needs to happen soon.
Choco
I
passes
think that was
Raspada.
just a... Yeah, great job from Choco there. I think that was just a conservative play from Splat. That it was, when he's looking at it, the worst thing that can happen is that I'm guaranteed third by going around. Worst thing that can happen if I fail Valor is that I fall down to 5th or 6th place.
Notably, blue
But
coming
that
out.
is
Ooh.
Great. Wow, bot 3. And again, no shock. Sending multiple people back is not really working for either team.
And this is kind of like the flip side of what we saw in Game 1, where Game 1, they were able to hold back Choco, but the rest of Texas stepped up. This time, Raspada's not even leading Long Beach. It's Starplet that's in 1 in terms of indivs for Long Beach, but Texas currently is holding bottom 3 on the indiv table, which comes down to that slight difference. So, it's two very evenly matched teams.
Yeah, it's certainly CSULB's strength is being shown again of just simply having enough competent people that can get to the front. They're just making this a numbers game, and sure, it's slightly risky to give them shock odds, but if they're not pulling, especially after this update, sure, I'd say CSULB for a bit is somewhat welcoming of, if y'all are just going to let this be a 6v4 in the mid pack, that we'll take advantage of it, just kill a couple of players, and then you're just going to have at least 4 people in top 6.
All right.
Okay, Salty is a little, yeah, I guess definitely could be crazy if a shock is pulled, but that has not been the case recently.
3 races to go. A very similar deficit with 3 races to go than what we had last match.
Okay, Splat.
Oh no, the head
Ooh.
bounce of doom and despair.
I had that happen a couple of days ago. That is just a complete run killer. Splat is in the back, but I would not be surprised if they just immediately push their way back up as someone who has been able to get a dodge pretty high and be one of the better scorers for Texas. That is, yeah, Choco and maybe a second Texas. No, that's just Choco holding the top. CSULB, once
great
again, just
item.
in that position that yeah, great pull. CSULB is 2 through 4 though. It's Texas better contest them at this point, or else it's just going to be another numbers game. Bomb. Who is in 4?
I think it's I think there's a Long Beach player. Yeah.
Oh,
that
I
bomb's
don't
going
like
up
that.
for Choco.
Okay, unless the person right behind them was a teammate. I think 5 through 7 or 5 through 8 were all Texas players. I don't know how many of them would actually take the top path, but that is getting at least 2 of them if they were the closest people. Watt not getting in the way of Raspada taking this cut, but Choco's breaking away again. Texas is bot 2, but one of them is pushing up.
Yeah. Oh, Raspada not able to get top path. Choco's broken in 1.
Yeah, I'd say safe to say something big has to happen to break this lead from Choco. I highly doubt he's going to make a mistake for the rest of the race. That is Micro and 2 with Shrooms. He doesn't make top path. I think he might have had a Shroom, so if he gets the Shroom cut, it's guaranteed second. But last place is currently in Bill from CSULB. He's going to have to spam it out now if he has it. Oh, that's not good. That's multiple Texas people near the tops. This is really bad. Well, I'd say
I don't
that's
think so.
fairly
I think
mixed.
it's 1
Yeah, I think
3,
that's
not
mixed.
much.
Yeah, no, CSULB ended up doing a lot better than I anticipated near the end. I think it's going to be a mixed pack. 2, 3, 5, 6. No, a lot better than I anticipated. Yeah, Texas not doing as much in the last 10 seconds.
I think Splat tried to come up late and just couldn't quite get what he needed.
Yeah. But yes, once again, multiple teams had multiple bot spots, both bot spots for multiple sets, and no shock.
I mean, circling back to that Sky High race, that 10-point gap, or that 10-point swing from Splat getting hit on the line, losing first, ending up in third. That's I mean, I don't want to say that like that's the point you can circle for the big decider, but it certainly feels pretty impactful now.
Yeah, Texas has to change this soon because I mean, with how this is going, I'm not gonna say like hopefully you pull shock, because at this point shock is probably not gonna help you. They're just become, I would say, a little bit too relaxed in allowing these CSULB players to continuously get the tops. Or if CSULB players are in the back, they're getting those bills, those goldens in the last couple of sets that just let them push back up. That CSULB is just being a lot more aggressive at this point. Choco is doing everything that he can, but you do not win wars with that 8 through 10 last.
Yeah. I will say, thank God we got this track instead of Starview Peak. I do not want to commentate Starview Peak.
Yeah, I'm gonna fall asleep at the wheel.
But this track, again, similar to the first game, very powerful shortcut at the end, where Shrooms and Shock commonly are used. They're spot in a great spot. Trip Shroom's high. Not the top Shroomer, but could get something really valuable with the 6th place box, maybe protection for lap 3. Not the greatest pull, but it's okay. That was a great horn from Muffin Man. Because now Respot is stuck in the back with the green, and not much you can do about it.
Okay, interesting play. You just sent the bagger back, but no, they're giving a bot too. Bill question mark?
Okay.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah. Not much going on there for Espada. Probably going to chain it into set. Splat?
He can bully him with this Bill or this Mega if he wants to.
I thought maybe there might have been an early shot because that was 2 Texas dodges popped right next to each other.
Yeah. No, that's multiple CSULB in the bottom again. But based off of how mixed this pack is, I could just see this being one of those cases where it just comes down to, I mean, a little bit of does shock happen. Second of all, who has Shrooms for this last cut? Great hand, but yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to rely on the bagger. Whoever's
use the second
there.
Shroom. That's okay. And
that's fine.
This is all Texas in the front. It's top 3.
Yes. Okay, Raspada's in the back again. He might, either he died or he's going back to get a dodge, and CSULB is in a really good spot. But yes, if they do not have shock, then this is looking really bad. Your primary playmaker in Raspada is not there to break the tops. Oof. When would you use this Ghost? Would you say last set, or are you gonna? Or are you expecting like a shock this set? I would probably Ghost now.
Well, what I could have called is you could have called Shoko to use all of his items and then like Ghost immediately after. Because now you're not gonna get.
That's a Shroom, I think. Yeah, you didn't get Choco's thing there.
That's smart. Not the place you want to use the feather, and I think Long Beach managed to snag some top spots off that.
Yeah, that was tough. He maybe should have used that earlier. 5 through 8. And that's okay, but once again, Texas. This is not the time to be lazy with it. That they need big races. This is your last chance. And considering that they had multiple tops, they are not happy with how that race ended.
Yeah. Again, it's unfortunate Splat got hit out there at the end, but Long Beach playing aggressive has gotten them a lot of points on the line, and I imagine, and
yeah,
like between Sky High Sunday and now the end of Dandelion, where Splat got hit out final set, lost some spots for it.
Yeah, I'd say for Splat, he's got to. I would say the primary thing for him is that he has to work on the execution once he gets those power items. That there has been multiple occasions where he's had a power item in the front, has either used it or is about to use it, and then he just gets hit out. But I guess it's just a little bit of backhamming that could help with it, or just simply anticipating who is around you, that if he went wide, took that right path, is it slower? Absolutely, but I will guarantee that the amount of people going that direction is half of what he's seeing on that left side. Almost everyone passed him on that left side.
Full credit to Splat, though. He really has stepped up for his team in this set between last match and this match, being the support to Choco as the rest of his team is struggling. It does come down to race 12, though. And here it is. Do the taco trucks move on to face the Georgian drivers, like Jet Joker, in finals? Or are we going to game 3?
Oh, boy, I would love a game 3.
And this certainly is the track that would provide us a game 3.
This is, this track went in the favor of CSULB. I think this is generally CSULB leaning based off of their 2 performances being even and then a double-digit positive for CSULB. But, yeah, the last time they went on this, they ended up pulling that, and once again, they have a bunch of bottom spots, but, yeah, as the tale has told so far, having those spot slots doesn't really matter, and they do need to pull again if they are just going to give Texas a bunch of top spots, because they are at minimum 1, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5.
They're tops now, and a lot of them.
That's a lot of tops, yeah.
I don't hate this decision from Texas. They're basically staring Long Beach directly in the eyes and saying, we are going to run this. The only way you are stopping us is you are pulling shock.
Raspada's in the back again. We could just have a repeat, except without the fat finger. Because Raspada should know shock spacing, which I believe they're in a decent spot to get that. This is like top 6 at this point right now.
Gotta watch the greens in 3 from Mini. These could do some damage to Splat. And right after the shroom too! Blue's out too! Hold on, this race has gotten a lot closer.
And a blue!
Oh my god, everyone's dying. In the back of the pack is caught up. And look who's going up! There's Raspada!
Raspada, oh, slight line fill there, but he is back and he has the ultimate mid-pack killer. Is that a line fill? He's in first!
Oh my goodness. Long Beach couple in the back. Raspada's got to hang up. Late shock! Oh, there's a Texas dodge!
That's a CSULB shock. That's a CSULB shock. That was from that, or it was high, because I saw the Zane dodge in the back. Oh my god.
Alright, what's the mid-pack look like? Who's behind 1? There's Texas, and there's a lot of them. It's Long Beach in top 2.
3, 4, 5. Who are the Bills, though? Those Bills are probably
That's a great pull! Splat can do some damage with this.
Shot. One more. You have to kill Raspada. You have to kill at least 2 of these guys.
You got 1. Is it enough? Yes, no! I think Long Beach still got top 2.
No.
Not quite enough.
I think
wow. Maybe?
Yeah, that's not enough.
2,
not
3,
even.
4,
No, that's
7, 8.
1, 5, 6. That's definitely not enough.
It's a gain.
Yeah.
But not by enough. That Rang needed to take out Raspada, because if Raspada loses more spots there. And once again, Choco held to a more modest number of points.
Yeah, 119. And at the same time, Raspada barely broke 100 there, and that was off of the first place at the end. That star play getting a 99, that's maybe one of their best performances you've seen so far. Just no one did bad on CSULB. Everyone just did their part. It was just simply that the people near the middle of the bottom of the roster just did their job, whether it be coming back up at the end, holding a blue, or just simply killing the Texas person next to them.
Yeah. Again, and it's that flip story from match 1. I want to reiterate this, where Botsu on the leaderboard belonged to Texas with 2 players not quite breaking 60. Yeah, they had 4 players break 80, but it wasn't quite enough with 2 players on Long Beach essentially scoring 100. So, and the overall differential for the set, it has been like 10 points in Texas's favor, but it's close. It's really close. I could see Game 3 going either way. It all comes down to who makes the mental adjustment going forward. Because
I think for CSULB that was crazy how that panned out, because it wasn't a situation where they get 2 really good races at the start and then Texas never comes back. They came back and were winning. CSULB just stole it from them a second time. That they are able to put up
multiple good races on them multiple times. That this is not just simply a fluke. CSULB is capable of contesting them if Texas gives them the opportunity, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who's
crazy.
going to win Game 3. It's close. I don't think I can pick a winner. All I know is that I'm excited for when it happens. Their players are going to take a quick 5-minute break, it looks like, to get the room ready. So we'll do the same here, but be sure to not go anywhere, because this is shaping up to be a classic finish to a CKO playoff set. it wouldn't be
It's
a
game
classic
3.
CKL set without a Game 3. Because this set has been something else.
Yeah, absolutely. I am in love with being able to see who will be the other team making it all the way to Division 2 finals. Both these teams being very capable. This was one I was very excited to see. Their first match being a differential of 8, and as you've seen so far through these first 2 games, no team is just completely separate from the other. It can go either way in multiple different games, but when it comes down to this, there's only one more chance to decide who is the superior.
Yeah, and it's... I mean, it was game 1, it was a tale of 2 different games, but whoever took the lead early in the game never lost it for the rest of the game, both in game 1 and game 2. Texas jumped out to an early lead in game 1, held on to it, didn't lose it. It got close, it got down to I think 10, but they managed to hold on. Long Beach, same thing. They jumped out to a massive lead to start the game. Texas brought it back to within 2, and it was neck and neck throughout the back set, but the back half of the war, but Long Beach had just enough to hold on and push it to game 3. I genuinely don't think I can pick a winner here. These two teams clearly fairly evenly matched. Splitting this 2-1 just feels correct for these two teams.
Yeah, I am interested to see which one will kind of figure out the equation first of how the match is going to play out, because in most of these cases, shock has been few and far between. That the winning team is just kind of the first one to just kind of, throw out that idea and just be like, hey, let's just outnumber them in the front. Let's just be aggressive with our items and hope that it doesn't happen, because it hasn't been happening, or at least at points where it's not necessarily that important anymore. CSULB was certainly the team that figured that out the first time with match 2, just generally not getting first most of the time, but more often than not, just getting that 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, just those small steps in the middle pack. Whether it be they're in the back or just in the middle pack, they just always seem to end up on the right side of things near the end, and that just ended up being the complete difference to bring this to a game 3.
Yeah, I do think you're right that the adjustment for Long Beach to not contest shock nearly as hard in game 2 was the correct one, especially with shock being a lot less common now. We'll just see if that holds up going forward as we are ready for game 3. Texas,
Alrighty.
being the top seed, was the host, so they should have all the top spots that they want. Long Beach, the away team, electing to go with Shipyard, being a track that they've had a little bit of success on so far this set, and we
Looks
will
like
start
they have,
game
like,
3
top
on
5.
Shipyard.
Let's see what they have here. No changes in the lineup, but yes, I do want to see changes, or what Texas has decided to change about their game plan, because although Splat had a couple of races that did not end how they wanted to, they still finished around 100 points, at minimum having like 85 after 11. That the rest of the team needs to step up, whether it be pulling the shock or just simply understanding that maybe bottom 2, having both boxes in bottom 2 is not what it's meant to be anymore after this update.
Barely
I will
getting
say
onto
there
the
is
rail
no
there.
one. I will say no one is immediately in the back yet. That in past cases you'd maybe see someone burn and just immediately step back there. In this case, everyone is all within the pack.
Those bouncing greens thought they might KO someone off the rails or out of the cannon. Doesn't look to be the case as the end of lap 1 shakes out. Great adjustment from Splat to be able to stay on the track, but that's Long Beach in top 2. Oh, nice horn!
Great horn by Mini. That's top 2 at least. Yep. I will say, worth watching Mini here is one of those people that's capable of stepping up, not within the main couple of people known for scoring, but if he could just play defense on people like Watt and Raspada, like this could generate top 3s pretty easily.
questionable pull there, only getting a single box, whether it be a line fill or not. But yeah, Raspada coming up just makes this all the worse for Texas. Interesting.
That was an
usage,
early
I believe.
shock.
I'm not fully sure who that. Yeah, that was either a spam or that was into a set. Neither team looking that much different from it.
Long Beach notably
Texas
all of the
player
bad spots
but
now.
Yes, yeah. And I'm not necessarily sure if that's good for Texas because it all depends on what they have in their hand. That obviously being in the back spots hasn't been what it's meant to be. But 11 and 12 getting a bill and a golden just means that Texas is just now in the bottom spots. That this second to last set is going to mean everything for pulling those power items. And yeah, once again, Texas is now in the back. They've already lost their leverage in the mid pack, and CSULB is just looking very dominant once again. Yeah, that's like bot 3, maybe bot 4 from Texas. One of the builds is coming up, but it's just too late. Yeah, it's too late. They gave them the bots. Even if they aren't pulling, certainly, you know, getting Bill Golden every single time is enough. Yeah, okay. The 10, 12, I will say that's probably off my guess. Maybe a gain? Yeah, definitely a gain for CSULB. Yeah, no real change in the top 4. I guess Mini ended up slipping down, but he just got replaced by Star Playa. That once Raspada got up there halfway through the second lap, he just got to sit down and enjoy himself. And I don't think Watt ever lost the lead a single time.
Yeah, it was after the shock, whoever it was, if it was Long Beach, it honestly accomplished what it needed to, but if it was Texas, it just didn't quite do enough for them. Texas ripping the far away. They didn't get it in Game 2, but it worked out for them as a Race 12 option for Game 3. Blue Cinema was the Race 12 for Game 2, and also a track pick. I believe Texas had a huge race on in Game 1. So, we'll see.
I would say maybe close to double digits.
12 points down after 12 points down after one race is not the end of the. It's still very early.
Definitely. But still, these next few races are going to decide a lot between the two teams. That if CSULB just wins the bottom spots over and over and over and over again, it's like they found their way to beat Texas. They figured Texas out. And if Texas doesn't do anything to change that, then simply put, they're just going to have to go home early. Because at this point, CSULB just keeps getting the races that they want. That's sure, you're not going to stop Choco. Sure, Splat's probably going to do fine, but with the rest of the people, they're just constantly winning. That they're still covering Shock without the sacrifice of losing those points. Everything is just working as a single team, and Texas is just kind of in this position where they're not comfortable in their own positions, and they aren't necessarily able to get out of that space. That they're just getting a bunch of mid spots. That CSULB controls everything right now. That they're in the back, and sure, they need to move up at some point and not have bot 4. But if they pull, that's great for CSULB. If they don't pull, then they're still going to get that Bill Golden that pushes them up into 5, so it's still good for CSULB.
Yeah, it looks like this is basically top 6 for Texas. So, we'll see what Raspada can manage to do.
1 kill.
Might be all they get.
That's all 1 there. The Muffin does not have an invisible shell there. It ended up breaking anyway. A couple of Texas players are in the back, and I'm scared because this might just be the same thing from them. Sure, like this top 3 from Texas, or top 2 from Texas certainly helps. But CSULB was in the back. They got power items. They caught up. That if Texas is going to be in the back, they need to be in a position where it's not too late. Yeah,
it looks
honestly,
like
I don't.
pretty uneventful top 2 for Texas. Late shock.
Ooh! Okay, that's
Who benefits?
CSULB dodge. Is that another CS?
I think
That's
Raspada
multiple
hitting a
Texas
banana on the line
bombs.
gave Texas some spots, but we'll see.
That is, I think, 2 players in the back from Texas. Yeah. Shout out to top 2. Splat doing his job, getting exactly what he needed. But still, the bot 3 from Texas is still struggling to get within that top 6 consistently. That it seems like no matter what, they're always on the back foot to the people back there. These shocks haven't been that crazy, and that almost makes this all the more scary, because if we're seeing multiple shocks, the fact that nothing is happening because of them, sure, yeah, absolutely, your Spada died, but overall, nothing really changed that much.
Well, yeah, Dynamo, don't you
That,
know,
you know,
nothing
you-
ever happens.
Absolutely.
Always bet on nothing.
That's absolutely good. We're betting the under on things happening.
Yeah.
0.5.
Well, would you look at the time? Nothing ever happens.
Absolutely.
That's kind of, honestly, that's just been the story of the 1.6 update for Mario Kart World is, if it comes to shock, nothing ever happens.
We are living in Nothing Burger now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is certainly crazy, because a lot more shocks are being pulled at this point. And at the end of the race of Boost Cinema is supposed to be a really big deal. That you expose a bunch of people on the line without their dodges, that if you get a bill, a gold, and a star, that they could just cross on the line. Raspada ended up falling multiple spots down. But it was just mixed. That we haven't seen that swing off the shock from Texas since Game 1, Race 4. That it might just be a lost art at this point. And, I mean, I don't even know if that was their shock. That if they aren't pulling, then there's certainly a problem with that. And if they aren't capitalized off of other shocks, or just even shockless races, then there is a extreme issue with Texas.
I was about to say out loud,
Oh.
you know, I don't really agree with Splat going wide for the double, but then he pulled a ghost. Splat, I apologize.
And
I
then
was not
he
familiar with your game.
Burned it. Okay, there is Kusu. I hopefully I did not say that correctly. Is very far back at this point. I assume they just died.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're having to burn that shroom.
But very
Yes,
tight-packed.
It's the exact same thing again, which is slightly scary for Texas. Of just, if that is them in one, they have a bunch of tops. CSULB has multiple bottom spots, and it isn't even about whether they pull or not. It's just, do all of them just catch up anyway? I mean, this is one where shock is going to be very important. At the same time, obvious, but
Ooh, he
I
didn't
do
quite
want to
have
see what happens.
the alignment.
I do want to see what happens to like this 4 through 8 from Texas. Like, do they just lose that battle of just simply having everyone behind them have better items?
Yeah, Long Beach holding
Raspada
top
has their win condition.
2. Both went around second cut. That's one of the spikes dropping.
It's,
I'm gonna guess
1-4.
it's Splat.
Yeah, no, this is not what you want to be in if you're Texas. They're consistently rolling spots. And Raspada has that win condition. If they pull, Raspada wins. If he doesn't pull, then they still have a lot of top spots. And they're in a position where they could just basically get every single Texas player outside of the... If it comes now, they're really set because they're getting all of the Texas players right out of box. No, got him. Oh, he just sent Muffin all the way.
Although Texas is the
back
beneficiary
there.
at the end because Raspada missing cut does
They're
allow
catching
Texas
up.
to get top 2.
That is top 2.
So
Oh.
Texas might have clawed their way back into this.
It's like 8, the 9 through 11 again.
Plus 6.
That's not enough. It's not enough.
It's early, 3 races in, and it's anyone's game. Nobody's had that haymaker punch to the gut that says, this is my game, I'm in control.
Absolutely. Only -4 that ended up working out for Texas. Huge swing there. Another shock not coming. Which, I guess at that point, I assume Raspada's star was more of a cover for the obvious spot. Because if they were able to hold that dodge with full confidence, they probably would have gone first, having that star and shroom all the way in 3rd place.
Oh, We'll see. With the top spots, Long Beach electing to lock in Dino as that reset, it
Yeah.
it really
top,
worked out for
like-
them in game 2. Texas
Like
getting Bowser's
top
Castle,
4 or
which
top
we
3,
haven't
5,
gotten yet
or-
in the
yeah.
set until now.
This is an interesting pick. But yes, I do not doubt that this is the last time that we'll see CSULB picking that Dino track. That it is just kind of a dangerous weapon that they can operate.
Alright, well, let's see how these top spots end up shaking out for Texas. How many of them can clear that gap jump that saves oh so much time? And even if you fail it, it's faster than going around.
Okay, that was
Choco's
certainly
getting
a
it
way
in
for that to
one. There's
happen.
one Long Beach player, maybe 2, that made it behind him. But,
Texas player in 1, and it's not the usual candidate. That is not Choco unless he changes
Choco's
his
on
character.
swoop now.
Okay, you changed.
Yeah, Splat is the only spike.
Um,
Responded
he really
fantastic
makes that
with this ghost.
going around. Yeah. I mean, we'll see how.
Are we
I am
saving
interested
it
to see
lap
how
2, maybe?
Spotty uses this because. Yeah, because it's highly doubtful, and I guess I could look stupid and be proven wrong, but highly doubtful that since CSULB has had bot spots almost all the time, that Texas is going to try and TS them on this set beginning of lap 2. So if he's allowed to, either he's going to use this for the shortcut at the end of lap 2, or he genuinely is allowed to save this for 2 full laps and can just use it to take cut safely, assuming that Texas pulls. But yeah, Texas has someone in Omega last, and I do
think
believe that
Splat's
is way
just
too far
having
back.
a really rough race. Just some cuts not going his way. But this is really scary
be
for Texas.
easy.
It's Choco and nobody else. Blue's out. This is really
Blue's out.
bad.
Oh, he is dropping though.
Yeah,
I
Choco's slowing
expect
down
him
to let the Long
He
Beach
is,
player
yeah,
to
he
one.
did.
That's smart. I like that.
That is a great play because LB in third, or yeah, LT having those triple reds.
And
in second.
Responded fails
No!
cut! And even
He
more
would've-
importantly,
Oh.
Texas is shook!
Oh! Oh my god. Oh, this is a
Those-
heat check. He's going to have to spam this, and Bill, if he doesn't hit this cut, he gets it cleanly. Okay, that's a lot of That's still a lot of CSULB tops.
And
doesn't
that shock
really
was
do
used to the point where the
that
mids
much.
could still take it.
They're 2 through 6.
Yeah,
They're 2 through 6. Yeah, that's really bad. This is not.
And Choco-
Bills aren't even close to being enough to cover this deficit.
can Choco
They
hold on to
need-
1?
Yeah, well, Sharks are having.
doesn't look
even
like it.
know.
He got
Yeah, I
shrink
don't even think it-
cast.
I don't think it matters. It just simply, it's just, would you rather it be a -20 or a -14? That's like.
I mean,
top. That's
Choco managed to hold 1, but I
might be
think
bot 5. I think that's bot 5. Oh lord, that's really bad. That's really bad. Yeah, -24. That not good for Texas. Yeah, cool if you pulled the shock, but who are you gonna use it for? That I'd say BC is maybe my #1 answer. GPR probably second. Of tracks where simply people just get way too far behind, and shock ends up not really mattering besides top 3, because it's like, cool, you end up pulling shock, you get multiple dodges, but that doesn't really mean anything if everyone is 15 seconds back from 7th and 8th place. They had the Bills after, but you would need 2 to 3 Bills to catch up with that, with the rest of the pack.
One place I really would have liked to see Texas try and use that shock would have been let Choco clear the cut in the speed boost section
Yeah.
on lap 3. Shock everyone behind Choco, because that gives your mids the best possible opportunity to be able to reclaim spots at the final sections. But
Definitely.
hindsight is 2020, of course.
But yes, this is before this race it was just a -4. But for Texas, that it's very alarming because it's the same symptom over and over again of CSULB just covers the shock spots early before end of race 2 and just moves back up and nothing really happens regardless of whether shock happens, because we've seen 3 shocks in 4 races now and I don't think a single one of them has had a double-digit swing yet, if not like a +6 or 8 swing. These have been very small changes, and CSULB is just finding a way to just control both ends, and then on lap 3, everyone understands what their goal is, and just hasn't really had that much issue maintaining their spots. But yes, I do like to see Muffin Man is currently in 4th as the highest Texas player. Oh, okay, that's a really early shock. Wow.
Yeah. We'll see what Texas elects to do with this. They could use it early,
They are
and they
closer.
do elect to use it early,
Oof.
getting Long Beach
That's
off cut.
One TS. That is.
I think the more
You would get Respata if you waited.
the more
but
important
2-3 were
part
safe.
of that shock is nobody in top spots has shrooms, which means I think Splat is the highest shroomer, unless Choco has one.
Muffin is in 3. If he kills these players, then he's in a great spot. It's 2 through 4. Alright, Respata just needs to run. Several CSULB players in the bottom in that last place from Texas.
Respata got hit out!
Bill, so
Oh, he landed on the glider! The Splat with the green!
got him!
This is the comeback that Texas needs.
If he holds this green, then he can keep Mini from passing him.
Yep, I traffic cone.
He's gonna
Swerve into him.
have to go for the play. He is smart enough to.
He got him!
Oh,
Is it enough to get a spot for his team? I think this team was too far back. I
that's a
think it's just
great
top
race
2
from
nothing.
Texas. That's bot 2. I think
Not enough to
yeah.
get a spot. Top 2, 4, 6 is a winning race though. And little
That is
by
a
little,
good race, but
yeah, you're clawing back just little bit by little bit. You need someone else in that bottom 4 to start.
yes, that is the clear alarm for this team. Only -16 overall, but the CSULB's lowest individual player is up like 6 points on their 3rd highest player.
Yeah. But the thing is,
That
like
should not be
Choco
happening.
and Splat are doing such a phenomenal job of trying to hold those top spots. And this is kind of a similar situation to what we saw last game, where Long Beach had a small lead going into the back half, but Texas couldn't get that big race to get the jump on them, ultimately leading to Long Beach holding on to game 2. So both teams, it looks like, are picking a heavy hitter track for them. So this could be the race that this is going to set the tone for the rest of the set right here. Either, and with Dino, anything can happen. Long Beach could be up 2 races going into the back half. Texas could have a lead, or nothing ever happens.
Yeah, certainly if we see what happened, the same thing happen again with what happened last match, this could just be riding on the wall. Absolutely, it can come back, but every single source up to this point has suggested that CSULB has a good chance of maintaining that lead, especially if it is over 40. Yes, he is.
We'll see. Ultimately, again, like we said last game, this track, holding the A button is objectively the wrong decision. Yeah, Splat forced into his Mega by the Long Beach player behind. I was going to say, I might go around, because this Mega's going to expire. You can chain it into set. See what you get.
Okay, I do like
Not
that
bad, but-
Texas has bot plots right now. This is kind of an inverse track, but I do like that Texas has bottoms. That every single, for most races up to this point, it's CSULB has the bottoms around this point. They control pulling the shock, or just at least warding off shock, and then they just move up. That if, yes, Texas probably should get a little bit closer. I don't like that they have 3 people back. They should have no more than 2.
Ooh, Red still
Oh,
connects.
almost made up the timing there. Oh, one more?
Red?
No, that's good.
It's taken out the player
Yeah.
behind Respond.
He got his teammate. LT is gone.
Yeah, and it looks
That
like
is
Choco pulled another one to
2-3.
get another one.
Still.
Oh my goodness,
CSULB
Feather.
has bot 2. If they pull again, then they're
Well, it
This
depends
is a little
on
more
where.
mixed than
If there's
last
no
time,
shock, it
but-
depends on where the shrooms are. Because Respada can't pull in one. So who in the mid pack has shrooms?
Also, does their 5-6... Yeah, does their 5-6 have power items or not? Because they'll be high as Dodgers. Nope. Ooh!
Here comes
Not
Splat.
enough. Oh, wait, that... Kamek is going to have a big change if it's something... That is very
Oh my
important.
goodness! And griefed by the spike.
Texas just took over top 3!
That might have been the greatest Kamek ever. Oh my
What a
goodness!
good
Top
Kamek.
3 off
And
of
that's-
that.
That's bot 3 out of 4. They just completely reversed the issue that they had. Yeah, good job to Texas. Top 3. Yeah. There you that is certainly what you want to see from Texas, that both their top spots won that a beautiful Kamek play, as well as their bot 3 is beating out the lower part of CSULB. Every single person there contributed, and they are up.
For the
Just like
first
that.
time, we see a lead change in the middle of a game.
Wow. That pretty quickly. And I'd say CSULB is probably stunned there. That track was supposed to be, if all else fails, go Dino, or just simply just one more mark to say that they are taking over. Texas being in the lead this is their chance going into the back half
And
for the
ultimately,
next, I'd say, 4 races.
one of the big things was we saw Respada had shrooms in the front, but had to burn a couple of them on defense because of the pressure that Choco was putting on. Respada alone in one just couldn't quite hang on.
Yeah, always giving credit to that Splat and Choco there. That Respada was very far up, and even though they didn't have the shrooms to cut up near the end, they still were able to apply pressure. That red would have gone them anyway, but that green was a very beautiful shot, getting just Respada just in a terrible position. And then the Kamek just to finish it all off. That certainly whoever's going to find out a hard way about what this Kamek is going to do is going to be Respada.
Yeah. I didn't see where that Kamek came from, but that might have been the single greatest recorded instance of a Kamek ever thrown in Mario Kart World.
That's just a great spot, because
Yeah,
you-
and
you
that,
got him on
that
the
Kamek
turn.
genuinely gave Texas, like, at least 16 points.
Yeah, that was just two different issues at the same time. Because you get Respada potentially like locking them in a straight line when they're supposed to drift near the end, and also straight line a bunch of spike balls, not necessarily what you're looking for. Okay,
Respada
this is
affected by the Kamek.
This is like
Oh, no.
3 through 8, 1 3 through 7 for Texas. I would want to see at least one Texas player drop back to keep eyes, because I'd say a shock around this spot lap 3 would be terrible. Blue is out.
And yeah, Choco's just going to have to take that one
Oh,
off
he's
the
gonna
map.
fall off. Okay, that's fine.
It's
Honestly,
a great pull
If
for Splat to have in one.
Choco, yeah, Choco could play double duty here. Of
Oh, and he
basically
misses
keeping-
rail! That's really
Oh.
bad, because now Respada gets to take over one.
Yeah, still bought 2 from CSULB, and I think there's a decent chance that they have at this point. That break between 10th and 11th is... No, it's 3 people back there. Yep, there we go. They pulled 2 bills. That is going to make them catch up almost immediately. CSULB is probably going to store back into the front.
We are about to see the
Maybe not
single,
the immediate front, but...
most worldwide-esque ending to this race, because everyone is
Yeah.
right here.
This last set is going to be so important.
This is going to be so stupid. Like, there's a horn,
Ooh.
Splat gets hit.
But gets hit. That's multiple bottoms from Texas. That's
Did
really,
Long Beach
that's
get
really
top
good for
4 off
CSULB.
that?
That's like top 4, like last. Top 4, 7 last?
Wow.
Top 4, 9 last. That is... Ooh, yep.
Oops. That is the wrong spots on the bot. Here, I'm gonna open up a bot on my end, and I can figure it out. Give me, like...
79 to 64.
It was 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, right? Yes. Okay, so that is a plus 20 for Long Beach. So, let's pretend that says, what's it? It's going to be minus 16 is the differential. Long Beach is up 16. And I'll try my best to fix it for next time.
But yeah, that is what felt like should have happened. That in most cases, giving bot 2 was not the good case. But CSULB just getting what you would normally expect from a war, getting bot 2. Their bot spots were not too far behind, and they had multiple bills to catch up immediately. And certainly, yes, that ending was a lot closer, but yeah, everything just went wrong for Texas at the top and middle.
Yeah. There have been a lot more shocks this game than there had been in the first game.
I would say that's like the first like extremely effective shock since the one on Toad's Factory.
Yeah, I would agree. But
maybe, or what? Did they pull shock on a Dino for the second match? Because I feel like they might have. That or they just
I think
everyone
they
caught
did.
up. Yeah, because that one plus 30 definitely, but yes, the big swing races with shock have been rare, and in CSULB's credit, in that case they just had people not that far back that they did take advantage of the fact that they just look around, and if Texas is not contesting me for the spot, like we decide how far we want to go back for the shock, and at some point you find that sweet spot to pull it, and simply put, none of them are none the wiser for whether they have it in the first place, just out of sheer instinct.
Forcing a
star.
star. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god!
I think that was just a Long Beach shock.
That was CSULB, it was. Yeah, they had
pulled
a
it
build
lap
dodge in
2.
the back.
Wow, and that's...
Oh, wow.
I mean, it is lap 2. Texas can come back, but that's
That's
great
way too
shock.
far. That is way too... Like, top 2 is so far ahead that I think they might have just secured a winning race again, and it's at the beginning of lap 3. I don't care how many cuts there are on this track. That is way too much space to make up, especially for the Spada. That was perfect for CSULB. Being forced into star, and I was about to say not the greatest place to throw that red, because he could just hop off the rail and just take advantage of the shortcut, but CSULB just had one final answer.
Joko pushing their way back up to the front.
They're fighting up, but they are last in 9 and 10. That this is way too much. Second place having a shroom.
Yeah, it's just purely salvage territory.
That's
What can
top
Texas?
3.
What can Texas get back here? 4, 6,
Yeah, that's
8,
huge. That's huge. Another double-digit win.
Okay. That's still slightly off. Let's see. It was Texas +4, and since then Long Beach has gained 48, so they're up 44 right now
Oh, wow.
with 1
But
GP
yes,
to go.
That is crazy. I mean, CSULB just feels like, even though it's minus 18, it's not that big of a lead. It just always feels like they're just ahead of the curve in the backs. That, I mean, they're constantly in bot 2, but it's the kind of bot 2 where they are proving to be a threat, that they aren't just getting 1 point and 2 points, that they are a real shock threat, and one that's close enough to move up and capitalize. That now it's just almost even worse, because not only is CSULB catching up like they usually do from the back, they're also pulling shock, that they're just helping everyone, that this just feels like a complete takeover outside of the top 4.
Yeah, it's I mean, again, there's still cards to be played. Anything can happen, but Long Beach is absolutely taking control of this now. They
I don't know
took
what they
that
did
Dino
to
Dino
go.
jungle race personally.
Yeah, I don't know at what point during match 2 or just maybe at the end of match 1 that they just looked at past races and just decided to exploit the weaknesses in the strategy of Texas, because I would say that -18 is misleading, and sure, they were.
It's
Texas
not.
was
It's because
winning.
it's not -18. I just goofed on the VOD.
Yeah. Well, I guess just like -44, and I guess that's a little more of showing what is happening. But the mind games have been certainly in favor of CSULB. That they are playing very strategically and are using. They're getting people up to the top with dodges, and they are being used effectively for multiple people. Not just, oh, Splat has a Mega and 4, and that even if he doesn't die after using it, that CSULB is like, okay, cool, we have
Ooh,
line
that
fail.
is not ideal. And Splat taking the brunt of that horn from the line fail. Choco is very gone in 1, but Texas is going to need a
That's
lot more than that to make this match comebackable.
CSULB has bot 2 again. This is not good, looking good for Texas unless there is no shock. A build just got out in 4th place. Not fully sure. But is the crab... Okay, Choco is pretty much guaranteed to walk away from this, but it has been the case that the mid-tech needs to work in his favor.
Yeah, because currently
They're
with everything behind,
2-4.
how can Texas make
Yeah,
something
it's a-
happen on this final turn? Splat rained out.
No.
He should still get a decent
Is
spot
that
here.
TK? He might troll his mate.
They still get like
That's LB. That's like
5-6. It's 1-5-6.
And last, and maybe bot 2 goes to CSULB. Nope. Yeah. I'd say probably gaining Texas, but not by a lot.
I think it's 1-5-6.
Might be neutral.
1, 5, 6, 8, 10. 1, 5, 6, 8, 7 is -2. So it's do or die.
Yes, this is there is a very high chance that this might end by race 12. CSULB took that momentum and applied it across games. This is the most, in my opinion, as someone who has, as in D2, has been watching these teams, this is probably the most dominant I've ever seen CSULB in relative to their competition. They are playing almost perfectly at this point.
Yeah, Texas needs something to go their way here, and something big. I think that's probably why the KTB pick is coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this will work as someone, that's been in a not so great position before. That I don't think it's the track thing. That if Texas just goes and gives CSULB bot 2 again, like most races, then I don't think much is going to change. But this is, I guess, the last opportunity. You do have to get crazy because CSULB has taken over near the beginning. They do have the Nabbit back, but I think it's important that they do not stay too far back. But honestly, just how this works, and with Baby Park, that no big swing is going to happen on this track. That is, someone from CSULB is probably going to dodge if there is a shock.
Well, and maybe,
Okay, they are giving...
The thing is, you kind of just needed, if you're Texas, you just needed a track like this to shuffle up positions, try and just see what all's going to happen if you just kind of throw caution to the wind and let the Mario Kart gods decide your fate.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, the other methods have not exactly been working out for Texas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Kamek is out as the dolphin. But I don't...
Fish!
I mean, this pool is okay, but 2 shrooms in 7th and 8th is not that good. You would need a golden to get a top spot here, and he is rolling the dice here.
Golden. Just wrong kind of golden. And this is where everything happens. Who's going to get a top spot? Splat pushing to the front. There's a Toadette. Going to be 1 for Long Beach.
Second place.
1-3, but
That's not Raspada getting last.
let's see. That is
I think that's good for them, but not
2,
too much. Nope,
5,
nope,
6,
nope,
7.
nope, nope.
Yeah, it's another loss of -2.
That wasn't as big of a change as I was expecting, because they got everyone into the same pack, but I think just the Shrooms and the Goldens ran out, and the same top 3 that were just contesting just stayed up there. Splat did a great job. He did the Koopa Troopa Beach as you would expect. Not really getting a second item for the pocket, but just that Golden just meant absolutely everything. But it's just not enough.
Yeah, he pulled the exact item he needed to finish that race, but the rest of his team was not so fortunate. And this is it. Like, Texas's season is on the line right here. They need at least +8. They need at least +8 to be alive. Realistically, you're looking for like a +20 here.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Crown City.
this is a track I could see a +20 coming out on.
Yes, but I don't know in whose favor, because I mean I'm gonna have to review to see who's pulled, but CSULB has outpulled Texas, I believe, like 4-2 at this point, and a lot more of their shocks have been recent. That I think they've been the last 2, and most of Texas's shocks were like race 5 and race 6. That Texas can very easily get that shock, and there is a couple of very, very powerful spots to use that shock item. But yes, it is about whether Texas needs to send someone back there to monitor CSULB, but not be so far back that they just eliminate themselves if they don't pull. But they need to pull, and they need to pull effectively. They just need to kind of replicate that the Shy Guy Bazaar race of just having no more than 2 people back at once.
Well,
and
the other
pulling
thing
the
is,
item.
The other thing is how risky do you want to play for Texas? Because clearly playing safe doesn't win you big races. I mean, it did in Game 1, but Long Beach has adjusted, and they're playing a lot smarter now. Does that affect your decision-making if you're Texas? Are you just going to full send run and hope for the best? Are you going to send players to try and play aggressive in those mid spots? Like, you've got to make something happen. You can't just let the cards fall.
Yeah,
in a
the
normal
cards have
way.
not fallen, because it feels like every single time Texas is back there, nothing happens, they get multiple bottoms. CSULB's back there, either they catch up or they pull, and then they catch up. That they need to, simply relying on the cards of shock odds is not working at all in their favor. That they're taking the very blunt approach of just having as many people as far ahead as possible with that bot 2, or top 2. But at this point, CSULB is in control for whether shock happens in the next 10 seconds. That they do have that bot 2 again.
Yeah, I mean,
But Raspada would probably call himself Shroom first.
I don't think they have, if it's not out yet. Texas needs
He
to
could
make
get
a
him out of
comeback.
this set here. No.
Oh my goodness,
Ooh,
that
that's
might have
really
just won
good.
the war right there.
That's game winner. That's game winner right there. Great. Yes, not enough.
Oh, and he
Missed
gets
the
rid of
eyeball.
wait.
Wow.
But it's more Texas behind. Okay, hang on. How's the Texas comeback looking?
Nah, that's like
Is it
9,
enough?
10.
Did Raspada just lose a spot for fun on the line?
Yes, and it was to a Texas player. They just got bought 2.
1, 2, 7 through.
That's not enough.
I think it's enough to
Not
stay
enough.
alive.
It is enough to stay alive, but
Just
that's not the
barely
swing.
enough.
Yeah, that's not the swing you're looking for in their case.
That 8 point-
everyone did move up, but yeah, they only had 2 people in top 6 again.
Yeah, so if the math has been done correctly, and I should hope it has,
Is it 38?
it's a 40-point game.
Oh. What do you... I'm trying to think of what CSULB will pick here. Alright, they're just gonna go safe, because I guess you can pick Rainbow, because you already picked KTB. That Rainbow would just kind of be like they can't fridge us on this, most likely. But
Yeah.
at this point, they are playing with confidence what got them there in the first place. And I think that's fine that they aren't trying to go crazy or anything. That the tides have very much shifted in their favor when they just pick and play how they want to, and I could see this being a positive race for them.
Now,
But
how funny would it be
Yeah.
is if we're like, oh, they need a fridge to tie and force overtime, and then they get the
reverse
fridge.
fridged.
No, and then they get fridge, but I did my bot wrong, so it's like Texas still just loses.
They win by
anyways.
2.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it'd be an awkward oops, my bad, but
Yeah. Just having
We'll see.
both of those pop off. But yeah, in this case, this is certainly one of the tracks where you are able to have multiple people back just to pull dodges, but you do not need more than 2 back.
the thing is, I don't know that Cheap Cheap is the greatest fridge track in a matchup like this.
I
Because
don't think it
ultimately,
is.
you're kind of relying on the fact that you have to beat their players. Close bomb.
I do.
But,
I like.
Long Beach knows, some of Long Beach knows Tarzan, and not all of Texas does. So
Yeah, and they have bought 2 again. That it's just a case of even if they go back and pull shock, they just have another CSULB player just waiting behind them to dodge. That they are playing with insurance in mind. That they have multiple players for insurance in the front and in the back, and it's just they're playing this exactly how they're supposed to. They're contesting shock because they need shock, especially on this track, and it's looking pretty similar, pretty mixed. CSULB has bottoms, but everything other than that is a shaky Texas.
Oh, he used the horn too
He
early.
did
No,
not. He missed.
That's so
missed.
unlucky.
Oof. And the hit.
Oh, there's a Kamek
Okay.
out. I saw
This-
someone change to fish.
This is scary, but the point is that guy in 11th needs to catch up very soon. That we need to see a bill come out from him in the next 10 seconds. or else
So
he's
here's
not
what's going to
gonna get
happen,
his place.
right? Is they're going to call...
Shock bill.
No. They're going to call shock right as, like, all of Texas is after... Oh, wait, no, there's just Mini in 1. That might be the game.
Mini clutch.
Yep, that's it.
He has golden. That's game. Good job to Mini. The dagger. And oh, that's a game. Bot 3 from Texas. Yeah, it's tough. They played that how they want. CSU will be playing that last race very efficiently, controlling the bottoms and just using the gold and the bill, everything at the end to catch back up.
Yeah, not a great ending race for Texas. And again, they did get the double hundreds, and they kept Long Beach out of those upper spots. But that's a Mini 49 after a DC. And ultimately, that was the difference. The difference was the Long Beach cast, or supporting cast, was able to support the top spots enough to the point where they could win.
Yeah, just when looking at these tables, you can see the difference solely in the individs. You don't even need to look at the bot or get recounts from anybody. Raspada didn't break 100, which is very, very rare. None of them broke 100, but your lowest spot is probably 75, which says a lot. That every single one of them just played really, really well, and it just ended up being a numbers game. That, as you can see, just with CSULB beating Texas, that playing hero ball with 1 to 2 people does not work. That it is a team effort, and just having Raspada drop 120 is not going to win them this game. That having everyone, they did not have a weak point on this entire team. As you said, someone DC'd and still dropped to 50.
Yeah,
That
it was...
when you just look through it, 3 people dropped 90 as well. That is unheard of.
Yeah, that's the depth that the Long Beach roster won their matchup in the regular season with, and it's the roster that won them, and it's that with English is hard. That was the depth that ended up winning them the games 2 and 3 in the set. So, again, GG's to Texas. They had a great season, finishing 8-2 on the regular season, but it looks like your opponent in finals is going to be CSULB Gold.
Yeah, definitely excited for it. But yeah, I will say CSULB has scared me a little bit with their gameplay today. That they have played a lot better, and I am seeing a lot less of the shortcomings that they had in the regular season. I'd say that's the scariest thing about this team, is that they've evolved. And that you can see, not that people are just getting faster, but that their team play is evolving as time goes on, and that they are getting progressively better and are able to contest the top 2 seeds, beating Texas Taco Trucks here as the 2 seed by multiple times, and that over this season they are 3-1 against Texas. And yeah, even if this is the last time that I speak about them publicly, I do give a lot of respect to CSULB for their team play here, as a team that is just one single university, one that has just been previously known for just being Raspada, plus a bunch of other players, that the team is growing very, very quickly in a new game, that they are probably one of the best success stories from CKL this season. As a team competing against a complete Texas team, including a very, very good competitive player in Choco, the fact that they're able to overcome this team multiple times is nothing short of just absolutely fantastic, and shows the results of how this team has grown.
Enough teams.
Well, let's go ahead and have a bit of discussion here with our victors. That was a great set, Raspada. That was very close, and I'm sure that your entire team was sweating down to the wire.
Oh boy, we were, man. Like, especially first game and like going into second game, it was so intense. Like, even in the last game, like, okay, we're up a bit, but like, we could easily lose the lead here. Like, it could just be back to clear even again. It was insane, man.
I guess I have to ask, was there anything you said to your team after that first match, or just halfway through the second match, that just completely changed how the team operated? Because it honestly just feels like a night and day difference, that at some point the system just felt completely different.
Going into game 2, we realized game 1 was relatively close for what it was, because it was mainly Texas pulling the shots. I think we only pulled 1 shock, and it was on Boo Cinema, where I spammed it, trying to go for it.
If it's
but yeah, then we started getting the shock up on our side. Yeah.
If it's any reassurance to you, the Boo Cinema Shock was not live on stream, so the world didn't see it, but we could kind of tell who it was.
We did see you cheating in the set, don't worry.
Well, now everyone knows.
Well, I'm pretty sure we called it out.
Well, I'll find a clip and share it in CKL Media. It was really funny.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed with the adjustments that you had from Game 1 going into Games 2 and 3, where, yeah, you didn't have that 100-plus point score like you had in Game 1, where you and Choco both tied at like 130-something. But you had the rest of your team falling very neatly in that like upper 90s to mid 70s range, which ultimately pushed you over to the win. Is that something that you kind of just worked on as a team throughout the season, trying to focus on claiming those mid spots?
I think this game, or this match, was more so a battle of attrition, especially the mental game. We just shaked off the first game and just said, okay, second game can be very different, especially with Shock Luck, and that really showed the first 2 races. That really boosted our confidence that, okay, if things just go a little bit more our way, we can absolutely do this. And yeah, my team, compared to like last season with Cataquac Cove, they are really on it. Not so much with time trials, but with just calling out who might have the shock on the other team. They're really good at doing that on their own, and swapping back to like bottom 2 to trying to fish for the shock, or seeing potentially they have all that stuff. Like, I didn't even teach them that. I told them to do that a little bit, and yeah, they just have a lot more map awareness instead of just driving, which is really cool to see them grow that way. And it came really clutch on one of the races. I forgot what it was. LT or Lamb. I think it was on Ward 2 Boo Cinema. He said that the red Yoshi might have shock and to like use it soon on that last lap. And he was right. And we like dodged like multiple people for that, and we got a good race on Boo Cinema. That was really good on Lamb.
And I guess I will ask this. I guess you can pick for whether to answer this for the specific match or for the entire season. But I guess this is your chance to give a shout out to some of your players. Is there a specific player or two that you'd say has developed the most, whether it be their communications, their time trials, or just team play over the entire season, or at least that match?
Yeah, again, Lamb, out of all the team, has been the most on point for calling out who has the potential shock. Like, he's always calling out, like, oh, this person might be sus, they might be sus, or maybe they're sus. And then we have Star Platinum, who swapped to a meta moveset mid-season. They were playing Rosalina just for the vibes, but yeah, they locked in with time trials, and they got a good time on Wario Stadium, like really close to mine. I'm really pleased with that, and same with other tracks, especially the Team 2, and even some kind of technical tracks, like even Salty a little bit, although they don't do the super advanced stuff, they do well enough that they can just not get a skill check on it. And I gotta give too much away there.
Alright, I've got I've got one specific question about a certain point in Game 3. After Dino Jungle, where that tends to be your track, where your team has big races on it, and Texas came out not only getting that top 3, but managing to win that race by enough to take the lead in the game. How did you kind of turn that around immediately after? Because you had 2 massive races to follow it up.
Again, it was the mental game. Like, okay, they got a big race, we're back to even. We've been even before, many times, over the course of this set. We just have to play it out. And everyone was just locked in. Again, like I said before, like war number 1 was pretty rough, but I feel like we just got more warmed up and like caught up to them in terms of, I don't know, like just how warmed up we are, or on point, or handling our nerves. Because I never made sure to panic so much when those type of races happen. It's always like, okay, next one. And we just have the mental fortitude to not roll over and just cry about big races that were lost, because we know we could potentially make big ones, or at least try and not make a big loss again.
Alright,
and it just happened.
Yeah. And one last question for me. Looking forward, you've got a pretty big obstacle coming up ahead of you, and you don't have to delve into the specifics given your arch rival is sitting in the same VC as you. But, I mean, looking ahead, looking to Georgia, haven't dropped the match yet. You haven't quite beat him this season, but you faced him twice. Do you think you're ready?
Well, I know it's going to be a super tough battle, even harder to work for than this one we just had. What gives us hope, though, is our last match with them was fairly close with them, and it was like our top lineup. I think maybe a few players DC, but like it was relatively close given that it was Georgia drivers. So I'm not sure if we will have what it takes to win going into that set, because they're just so strong, but we're gonna try our best to make them work for it and not make it easy for them. That's all we really have to say.
And that's ultimately
I
all
will
you can
say
do.
y'all are one of the teams I wanted to see less in this match, because as spoken throughout this interview, your team has been one of the best to develop so far this season. That over the span of, I think we faced y'all like week 2 and then week maybe 10, that there was a noticeable difference between the two, and especially tonight.
One thing I noticed is in playoffs, I believe we are the only team in playoffs that is not a hybrid team.
Yeah, that's what I was, whether it be closing thoughts or thoughts tonight. And I guess I gave a little bit of a pointer to that earlier, that I do respect CSULB for that, as one of the schools in California that you were a super team before, and the fact that you're able to not be a merger at this point and still have
healthy, consistently gathering roster that wants to improve is one of the better stories of CKL this season.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
And, well, you've got one more best of 3 ahead of you. I wish you the best of luck in preparing for it. Thank you for giving us a piece of your time to give us some insights into
Can I
the
say one more
match.
thing?
Go for it.
This will really be the last team lineup we have with a lot of our OGs from way back when we first entered CKO in 8th Deluxe, where we won Division 4. Like, many of us are alumni or about to graduate. I still got another year, but no matter what happens next match, I just gotta say I'm really proud of my team and how far they were able to push themselves, especially against this game on Texas. Yeah, I'm really proud of how strong they've become, and yeah, this would be a really emotional but hard-fought like send-off to the team.
Certainly,
yeah, I'm just really proud of them.
I could see this. Yeah, definitely is, regardless of whatever happens, that, I mean, first of all, you overplayed your seed. Second of all, this is so far, a very successful send-off season for your team.
Yeah, and
thank you so much.
I mean, that's kind of the nature of this league, and that's something that we were going to see quite a lot of both this season and in 2 seasons from now, where we near seasons 8, and anyone who is a freshman in CKL season 2, season 1 is going to be moving on. But seeing teams like yours being able to recruit and grow so much, I have faith that even if you don't bring back this core of players, you guys will be back next season, hopefully.
We haven't been able to recruit more players than
you've got time.
our core,
and
we might just have to.
I wish you the best of luck with that. Good luck with your match upcoming. Thank you for everyone else, if you're still here, for tuning into the match. Be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow, because it's finals week starting tomorrow. It might be finals week for some people's schools, but we've got D1 World Finals tomorrow, potentially also D3 World Finals tomorrow. D2 I know is getting rescheduled at some point later in the week. Also, there are a couple community announcements coming out tomorrow that you should absolutely keep an eye out for. I don't want to talk too much on what to expect, but there are some really big things getting announced tomorrow, and I cannot wait to share it with the rest of the community. Thank you all for watching. Dynamo, thanks for being a great podcasting partner. Respada, once again, congratulations on your win, and good luck in finals.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a lot.